In the race for the championship, the penultimate race of the season takes us to Martinsville Speedway, where short track racing brings a whole lot of aggression and hopefully just enough patience to keep drivers out of trouble. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to AARP's Cup Series here at Martinsville Speedway. I'm Eliza Bethel, and joining me in the booth is Pete. Pete, how you doing tonight?
Eliza, we're at the paperclip. I'm doing all right. Good to see some good old short track racing. Practice so far has been absolutely interesting. Ready to get these 250 laps from Martinsville underway. How are you?
I'm doing great. I think it's going to be a wild 250 laps, as you were saying, but man, oh man, a lot of action so far here tonight. You can see in practice, Burgess, who has just passed Harmon. He has a 19:22 in practice, and Harmon, he's got a 19:25. We really do have some close times, but I'll tell you what, this is the penultimate race. A lot is on the line, and we're going to see some aggressive driving out here once again. We saw it last week. We saw it at Las Vegas. Pete, I think we're going to see it again here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. You're talking about, a 23 and 25, whatever, between Burgess and Harmon, all the way back to Dustin Musil, also in the 19s. So everybody here very, very fast. Seems like everybody's got a pretty good lock on the track. I'm ready to see what happens when these guys go green. Being lapped at Martinsville is something that everybody here has to expect. But who's going to be the first one to go down that lap and hope for that caution?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a couple of lap drivers out here tonight and go probably several laps down. It's just a matter of, like you said, who is it and when is it going to happen? I do want to give a shout out to you guys in chat. Rock NASCAR, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Mike Carter, how are you? Hope you're doing well. We have about 12 drivers out here. Next week is their last race, and it is going to be at, I believe, Phoenix. So another great race, but tonight these guys have a lot on the line, and it's going to be a long night. This is one of these nights, Pete, where I really think it exhausts these drivers. I mean, you have to stay on top of it lap after lap, so it can be pretty strenuous out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, talk about a track that is very you have to get your rhythm down, lap after lap, hitting the same marks over and over and over again. Meanwhile, keeping up speed. Don't burn up the right front. Don't burn up the right rear. Watch when you're getting loose. Be able to control your car when or if you do get a loose. It's going to be interesting. It looks like qualifying is underway, and yeah, like you said, 12 guys going to be out here. Man, who's it going to be? Is Harmon going to go ahead and pull off the three-peat, or are we going to see a different winner tonight?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I know he's put in some time here. So Burgess, though, he's been on a verge of the last two wins. So I'm kind of curious. Will we see him get a win here tonight? But man, it's going to be tough, and we're going to see a lot of bumping and banging at this short track. It's going to be a fun one. I think we're going to be on the edge of our seats for a lot of it. And we're going to have to watch these guys and how they shift. Also, we're going to be in fourth and third gear quite a bit. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of drivers head into second mistakenly, and that's going to end in the wall, more than likely.
Yeah, very, very possible. Last week when we went green, we saw Tom Harmon and Matt Burgess 1-2, pole and outside pole. So far this week, it looks like it's going to be Tom Harmon, possibly. He's on that pole with Matt Burgess to his outside, and a special shout out to Craig Meyer right now, sitting in P number 3. So those two look like they're going to try to start it all over right where they started last week. Have to see if they can do it.
Absolutely. Another shout out to you guys in chat. Racer Rec, what's up? It's going to be a wild one. Let's go to the paperclip, man. And as Mike Carter says, you mess up for a split second, you've lost half a second in 3 places. And that's if you're lucky. So we'll see what they do tonight. Fug, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. We got Day Day out there. He is out on track also. So Good luck to these drivers so far. Harmon with a 19.22. He's going to be on pole. Burgess with a 19.40. O'Connor with a 19.73, sitting P3 on the charts. And we got Meyer in fourth, 19.88. I'm not seeing these guys go out for any more laps. We'll see if we have a couple of stragglers head out, but looks like so far that is what we're going to see. So very interesting. You see the top 4 drivers, 3 of them are going to be the final 4 drivers. So important to see that out there. Our 4th one, he has yet to make a lap. So I'm interested to see. Here we go. Collins out. He is finally out on track. That's the 00. What do you think where do you think he's gonna be, Pete?
Well, I'll tell you what, if a lot of people are just deciding to go ahead and let it ride and start where their iRating or where their practice time set, I'm not quite sure how they'll be lined up as far as iRacing goes, but I mean, if he comes out and wins it, and Chapenis and Bodenschatz, Wilkins, Hilker, Lockrow, and Musil, if none of those guys decide to go out, well, Collins, he's got an easy top 5 start. And actually, he just bumped on up to P number 3. But I tell you what, Mike Carter says you mess up for a split second, you've lost half a second. Not only messing up, Eliza, but if you try to back up your corner or anything like that here, if you don't get the right entrance into the corner and the good exit off, you've got a very good chance here of getting run over. So it may not be the necessary bump and run, which who knows if we'll see that for the end or not, but you cannot mess up here because the lines are very, very sensitive. There is, if you can diamond out the corner at Martinsville just a little bit, maybe back up your corner, let it go high, bring it on back down, just enough brake to get that nose to set, you can get a good launch off. But it's really all about getting into the corner and throttle control coming off. But he's 100% right. You cannot mess up here.
Absolutely. And as you said, that's a great point, that different braking points going in here. If you take it a little bit easier than somebody behind you, there's a great chance you're going to get ran over, which could just cause a huge pileup. And when you have a bunch of cars in front of you that are wrecked out, it's going to take a lot to try to avoid those cars. So you really have to be on it. Try also not to spin the tires because you're going to wear them out. So let's take a look at the track analysis for tonight here at Martinsville. Pit window, I'm told it's about 140 to 145 laps. I can assure you we're not going to see that get that far tonight. These guys, we're going to see some cautions, and I do believe they're not going to put on those new tires every single time, but it will be before 140 laps, I can assure you. 0 fast repairs. This is huge. You're gonna have to take care of your car. Make sure that you keep your nose clean. These cars, they have a new thing out there for how the damage model goes, and so that these guys can really take on a lot of damage very quickly. 250 laps tonight, Pete, is going to be a long race. 5 sets of tires.
5 sets of tires, 250 laps, 0 fast repairs. And yeah, I'm not thinking the 140 to 145 laps either. But that 0 fast repair at a track that is notorious for a lot of contact. Eliza, we've seen a lot of cars get slightly damaged in some wrecks, and others, where you're talking about busted toe links, which is automatically, a huge clump of time that you've got to sit on pit road waiting for that thing to be fixed. And then once you're done with your mandatory time, then you have the optional. Do you take the chance and come on out on optional? Is the car going to handle correctly? Is it going to, get down into the corner when you need it to the most on your first lap? So much is unknown with the new damage model. They've made a lot of good strides in this next-gen car since it first came out, but there's still a lot of unknowns because of the constant updates.
Absolutely. So, it's a huge thing that you got to keep off the walls. You got to keep clean on track. We have a couple of guys. There's more than 5 entries. We've only had 5 drivers go to qualifying. So yeah, there's a lot more guys out here. We just had PJ O'Leary join, so he's going to be about the 13th or 14th driver out here for 250 laps. I do want to give another shout out to Dark Racer. Havoc Gaming is going to be a wild race. Mike Carter says it's going to be a game changer tonight. I do believe you're right. And let's go ahead and take a look at the points. Going into tonight's race, we have Harmon. He's got 3,090 points out here. He's got a nice little lead. Burgess, he's right behind him with 3,077. So he has, like I said, he's been on the verge of a win 2 times so far that we've seen, and something has happened to him on the final couple of laps. Tonight, could it be his race to win and get those extra points? He definitely needs it. We have Collins with 3,073, tied with Meyer. So those two are going to be battling it out tonight. These guys definitely have to catch up to Harmon, though, Pete.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at Harmon, Burgess, Collins, and Meyer. Right now, that's first, second, third, and fifth so far on the starting grid. So they're not some of the guys that are just kind of sitting in the back and they're going to take it easy, wait till the race runs down. They're gung ho. They're ready to roll. Not only that, I was taking a look at the amount of laps ran during practice, and most of those guys, they had the most practice laps run as well. So while Harmon's got a decent little points lead, especially with only 12 or 13, maybe 14 cars that are cars out here on track tonight, I don't believe if Burgess can take over the lead with the amount of participants, it's still going to be a great race. And Eliza, you said it before, one more race to go next week at Phoenix.
Yeah, we have one more next week at Phoenix. Last week at Homestead, we saw Harmon win his second race with Burgess, who was trying to go for a late block over another Final Four driver, which they kind of got tangled up. And so Harmon walked away with that win. But I'll tell you what a wild race. But Harmon, he had the car to beat. I'm curious. It kind of is anyone's race tonight. A lot can happen with a short amount of time. So this really can see any winner tonight.
Absolutely. And points with the limited field are at a premium. You want every single spot that you can take. So I got to ask you now, Eliza, the driver in you, do you kind of lay back and take it easy until you have to go, maybe the second half of the race, that last 125 laps? Or are you full bore all race long and trying to lead not only a lap for a point, not only most laps, but really just show that you are the dominant force on the track?
It's tough because I don't want to be in the mix. I don't want to be in the trouble, but you definitely don't want to be so far off that you're you're threatened to get a lap down. So that's something these guys will have to watch. I'm going to try to stay up front, but try also to not use my tires up. But guys, they are getting lined up for the grid. We have Thomas Harmon on the pole with that number 68 machine. Matt Burgess, his teammate, on the outside in that number 12. Row 2, we have Austin Collins in the 00 with Colin O'Connor in that number 33. Craig Meyer in that 10 car with Hunter Johnson on the outside in that 32. It looks like he did make it out tonight. Row 4, we have PJ O'Leary in that 9 with Dakota Wilkins on the outside in that 44. And Pete, why don't you take the rest?
Absolutely. Then we're going to have Scott Bodenschatz, in that number 52, starting P number 9. P10 is going to be Paul Shapenis in that number 77. Derek Hilker in his 5, going to start P11. P12 is going to be Dustin Musel in his number 2. Frank Weinset in that number 20. And then to round out your 14th driver, talking about the number 37 for Doug Lockrow.
And that is going to be your field tonight. 250 laps. Let me know if you have a favorite driver out here. Who is your driver? Who do you think's going to win? It's hard to tell being so early, so I ask you guys, but I couldn't even tell you myself. It's going to be very, very close. We're going to see a lot of tight racing. I'm kind of curious, Pete. I'm putting you on the spot a lot tonight, but how many cautions do you think we're going to see out there tonight?
Over 14 cars. You know what? I think with the caliber drivers that are out here, looking at the varying I ratings, things like that, what I saw in practice, the tightness, the looseness, how hard they were really charging this track, I would say, I think 7 or under. I'm going to give these guys some credit.
Heck yeah, I'm all for it. You know, I want to see it race out. I want to see these guys on a long run. So I'm definitely all for it. Danderson, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Mindless, what's up? Racer Rex says many cautions. And if you guys have watched the NIS races or any of the officials, that would be likely.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody in pre-race, and they were saying they ran 123 laps of caution in the NIS race. So I don't think that we're going to see anything like that. But Eliza, we're about to find out. They're on the backstretch. The lights atop that pace car are out. The 68 and the number 12, they're gonna see the flagman first. But 68 is the control car. So one more pole for Tom Harmon. Let's see just how far you can take this great track position. We're going green.
We are going green. 250 laps at Martinsville Speedway. Let's get it. We are on the move. Thomas Harmon going into the corner with the 12 directly behind, doing a great job. The 00 not too far behind. So these guys trying to find their place in line, but off to a solid start. Knock on wood if you have some, because I want to see these guys in a long run. You can see Hunter Johnson back there already in that number 32, making it too wide with that 10 car. He is on a mission, Pete.
Oh yeah, Hunter Johnson. I'm glad to see that he's here. Already up 2 spots, sitting P number 4. Tom Harmon and Matt Burgess starting to scoot away just a little bit. Already up by a second or just about over Austin Collins. Caution's out.
Caution is out. Looks like Derek Hilker is involved. Let's take a look at what happened. You see him making his way around, and it's in the turn coming out, and I'm going to assume he's going to get loose. There he goes. Fortunately, it looks like everyone made it by, and he got away with no damage, if I'm not mistaken there, Pete.
Yeah, I don't see anything on him either, but great job by that 33 again. It could have absolutely been a lot worse. He was right about the 5 rather. He was right around mid-pack.
Absolutely. Let's see. Mike Carter says they're going to have to play it by ear. You can't go all in or be laid back all race. If you take it easy, you are in danger of being lapped. And if you are on it every minute, you're going to burn your tire. So yeah, it's definitely a fine line for these guys. I feel like sometimes you're going to have to play it safe, kind of switch it out a little bit. If you're falling back a little bit, you're going to have to step up your game. So we're going to see what they're going to do. But right now, I think we're going to see a few cautions. I think, and a lot of these are going to be a single car caution out here, so we'll see what happens with that. But tire damage, hopefully no flat spots. Absolutely, it's going to be tough. These guys are going to be exhausted after this race, no doubt. And Weaver, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the race. Douglas says the 52 or 77 for the win. Let's go. Havoc says the number 68. And Shelby says Dark Racer will lay back, then watch out. Chris Palmer is not here. He had to work tonight, so we're definitely missing him out on track.
Big call. 52. Scott Bodenschatz right now sitting in P number 12. He's down 3 spots from where he started. Derek Hilker right around where he started right now. That's the 5 that just went around. You want to talk about some flat spotted tires, some tires that are going to be pissed off at that driver. I'm sure not only are his tires heated, I'm sure he's a little upset maybe at himself as well. Maybe getting on the throttle just a little too soon. He'll have to baby it, as until the temperatures and the pressures come on up. Like old Darrell Waltrip used to say, you want to treat the throttle like there's an egg under it. Just be gentle with it, feather it, and then when you can, mat it. But at a track like this, you're not going to be matted for very long.
Absolutely. These guys will get ready to go back to green, but in the meantime, let's take a look at JTR Custom Designs, offering you professional custom signs or any home decor options you desire. You can find them at Facebook at JTR Custom Designs or email them at jtrcustomdesignsllc@gmail.com. And that pace car is getting ready to go back in. So let's get these guys ready to go green. Once again, lap 7 of 250. It's going to be a long night, Pete.
Absolutely. 68 and that 12 starting right where they were before. 68's got the option of when he wants to go, as long as he's in that restart zone. 00, 32, 10, and the 44 all racked and stacked back up. We're green.
Man, that outside, Hunter Johnson looking like he wants to take that 3 wide already, but off they go, still 2 wide, trying to balance it out. Austin Collins, he's going to move up to that 2nd position up there, doing a great job. Burgess falls back to 3rd. Craig Meyer, he's going to be on the hunt by Hunter Johnson, who's going to dive it down low to try to take over position. These two are in a 2-way battle.
Absolutely. I tell you what, that 32 just showed a great example of out-braking, getting into these corners, much like you'd see at a road course. If you can get into that, it looks like Burgess almost went around, but the inside wall kind of saved that 12. So he's not, I don't think he's going to go a lap down, and I didn't see a whole lot of damage on his left front. That could be huge for him later on. Definitely showed speed in practice. I look for him to try to navigate his way back through the field.
Yeah, falling all the way back to P11 after getting loose there, I would assume. But up front, we have Thomas Harmon, who's got a little bit of a gap between him and 2nd place. And guess who that is? None other than Hunter Johnson, who is a man on a mission. He has gained 4 spots up from where he started. Speaking of gaining some spots, Frank Winnisett gained 7 spots from where he started. He's sitting P6, and Dustin Musil, he's out there P7, gaining 5 spots. So great job to these guys so far.
Yeah, a lot of movers and shakers. You want to talk about Hunter Johnson being a man on a mission. Last lap, he was fastest out there, set a brand new speed record with a 19.3. Everybody else 2/10 or more behind him. Caution number 2 is flying.
Matt Burgess is involved in this. Let's take a look at what happened here. Looks like it's going to be a solo incident. These guys coming out the exit. Yeah, just lost it straight head on into the wall. Amazingly enough, it does not look like there's much damage. He does have some left front fender damage there, so definitely got to get that repaired. We'll see how he fares with that one.
Yeah, that's a much harder hit than what we saw a moment ago, where just coming off the corner got a little loose. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the same corner. I could be wrong. Of course, being the paperclip, the corners here look very similar. But man, that was that could have been bad.
It could have been a lot worse, that is for sure. We are on board with Hunter Johnson. We'll see if any of these guys choose to come in. But lap 15 of 250. It's a little early out here, so I think most of these guys will stay out unless they incurred some damage along the way. But it is still a little too early, as these guys can last about 140 laps, at least on fuel.
At least on fuel. Key words. But I tell you what, Hunter Johnson, he's been filling up the rearview mirror of that 68 of Tom Harmon. And like I mentioned, he just laid down the fastest lap of the race so far. Tom Harmon, he's gone back-to-back these last couple weeks. Could the 32 place spoiler?
He has, the 32, he's got nothing to lose. He's not in the Final Four. When he races, I've known him for a couple of years, he is not one to sit around. He's going to give it his all. If he's out here, he's doing the whole thing. So we'll see him get pretty aggressive. It doesn't matter that he is not in the Final Four. He's still here to win, and he has every right to. So we will not see him lay back for Thomas Harmon. These guys, I do believe they still are teammates. I'll have to get that confirmed. But yeah, teammates or not, Hunter, he's on the hunt for a win tonight.
Absolutely. When I used to talk to them during another league race, yeah, they were teammates there. Here, I don't know, and that might be why the 32 is playing peekaboo with that Avril Lavigne rear view camera right now.
Yeah, he's giving her high fives. We're seeing him give her some high fives out here, saying, "Hey, I'm just letting you know, I'm here. I am not going anywhere, and pretty soon, you know what? I will not be surprised if we see Hunter give him a little bit of bumper action, move him out of the way, a little bump and run. Here, though, it is really hard to do. The car gets upset so easily, even by itself. You have a little help with that, and you may just find yourself in the wall with the driver that you did a bump and run with.
Oh yeah, I mean, if Hunter Johnson was to give a little bit of a love tap to the back end of that Avril Lavigne Camaro, it could easily send the 68 up to the wall. But if you do it right, where all you do is just give him a little bit of a tap, move him up out of the line, and you go on by, you do it the right way. But Eliza, you also open yourself up to having this same exact thing done, because in most instances, it's the guy that you just hit, unless, for example, the 00 is able to get by. But that pace car is in, 68 can see the flag, man. We're going back.
Our top 4 drivers are a little bit scattered. We have the top 3 in the top 5, and then you have Burgess, who had that single car incident. He's way back there, but Hunter, he's going to take over and choose that second spot. And man, all over the back bumper of Thomas Harmon already. Austin Collins, another Final Four driver. He is out here for the championship, sitting P3. Craig Meyer directly behind, and man, he's looking solid too. All these guys, like we said, definite chance to win, but Hunter Johnson already takes over the lead, Pete. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, Hunter Johnson got a huge run off the corner, was able to pull up to the left rear of that 68. A little bit of a side draft, pulled him back just a little bit, able to take the lead, and caution's going to fly one more time. Eliza, I might have to, edit that 7.
Third caution of the night so far, Scott Bodenschatz. We'll see what happened with him. More than likely, these guys, just getting loose coming out of the corner. It's tough. You get on the gas just a second too soon, and that car is just going to be up and around. You have Derek Hilker involved in that also, unfortunately. So, man, a little tough time for these guys. It's going to be a long night, lap 22 of 250. Man, it's going to be a lot to keep these cars clean. And may I remind you, Pete, no fast repairs. So whatever you get, you're just going to have to fix.
Yeah, one thing about that though. Okay, so we're not at a mile and a half or a super speedway or something like that. So you're going slower than you would be at some of those other tracks. So the damage that you get here may not be that bad. We just saw Hilker get into Bodenschatz when there was nowhere to go. I mean, it literally closed up between Bodenschatz and the wall. So he made a little bit of contact. Probably not going to be all that bad on the front of Hilker. But I tell you what, the two people that got around Hilker as he was spinning, boy, those some great shots. And I could just imagine what that looked like from the driver's perspective.
Absolutely. Thomas Harmon, he is all over the back bumper of Hunter Johnson now. And the opposite positions. But yeah, you have a great point. This is not a mile and a half. You don't have to have these cars in pristine condition, but you gotta make sure you can steer. If your steering's messed up or you have massive amounts of damage where it does affect how your car's gonna run, you're gonna have to repair some of that. But these cars can take a little bit of a beating, and you don't have to fix every last second of it in order to be out on track here at Martinsville.
Yeah, the one driver that took the hardest hit where it wouldn't matter how hard he hit was Burgess. When he went into the inside wall just about flush with the nose, these cars are very, very bad about overheating when they get too much damage on the front end. You start to lose horsepower, then the motor expires. So he would have been probably the worst hit so far. Yeah, a couple crush panels, something like that knocked in, but his wreck into the inside walls, he's going to come on down and get that thing fixed up just a little bit more before they go back green.
Hunter Johnson, who is in chat, Ascend and Rage, he's letting me know we are teammates. I kind of figured you were, but you never know. I knew you were last season, and I thought you were this season. So these guys on top of each other, but like I said, teammates or not, these guys are going to go for it. They're not going to stop. I don't think he's going to put his teammate in any danger, but if he can grab that win, he's going for it.
All about the trophy hunt. Yeah, so now we'll actually have to see here because right now Hunter Johnson is showing that he's on the outside line. Is he giving the preferred line to the 68, or does Hunter feel a little bit better about the launch off the corner on that high side? Lights atop the pace car are out, middle of the backstretch, going to be going into turns 3 and 4. They'll come to the attention of Barney, the flagman, in that restart zone. Pace car's off, Eliza. Let's get ready to roll one more time.
Yeah, being on the high side, you know he's going to get a better jump than Thomas Harmon, so he's just going to be able to get out front and go down to that low side, so not going to be too bad for him, but green flag, and there he goes off and running. He's going to tuck it down to the inside in front of teammate Thomas Harmon. You got Craig Meyer behind him, so these guys, top 3, Austin Collins, he is in the final 4 also. He's going to be P4. You can see these guys 3 wide towards the back, and that's going to be with Burgess back there. So these guys aggressive early on. It's only a lap 28 of 250, Pete.
Oh yeah, long way to go. We got 2 centuries yet to go. How about the 5? And I believe that's going to be the 33, sliding up track, locking them up, doing a great job though to keep them off each other and keep them off the wall. I tell you, Elijah, that restart looked a little interesting. It almost looked like a parking lot before the green flag flew. Maybe a little restart games between the leaders?
Possibly. You know, sometimes that happens like that. Johnson putting a little gap between his teammate, almost just under a second. Harmon is back there in second, and oh man, we got another caution here. It looks like several involved. Frank Winnisett is going to be one of them. That's going to be in the 20 car, Frank Winnisett, and I'm imagining that he's going to get loose, possibly collect a couple of cars behind him. I was talking about that earlier. When somebody gets loose, there's literally nowhere to go. So yeah, we have a few cars involved. That number 8, he is involved in there. Dustin Musil, Scott Bodenshots, Frank Winnisett, Paul Chupenis. So man, tough break out there.
Yeah, that 20 Yahoo car going and hitting the wall flush on. That is the exact kind of hit that I was talking about earlier that could end your race, whether you're at very, very high speeds or not, as he backs up into the leaders.
That's tough.
Oof.
I didn't see that one, but Paul Chupenis, he's going to be out on pit road. Scott Bodenshots, Frank Winnisett going to be the first one a lap. Well, it looks like now Burgess is going to be the first one a lap down. So we'll see these guys, but 2 takers on pit road trying to fix that damage. And off goes Burgess to get his lap back.
Yeah, there you go. So Burgess, and then once Burgess gets his lap back, Winnisett would be the next one right now sitting P12. And then after that, PJ O'Leary down 27 laps. So I'm going to guess right after this all kicked off, he had a very serious issue, and it looks like, unfortunately, Lockrow in that 37 out of the race.
Yeah, we do have one out of the race early on, but hopefully we can keep most of these drivers out on track to finish the race. But 4 cautions in 33 laps. That is just the territory that comes with Martinsville Speedway. So it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough.
Yeah, anytime you come to a track, almost like a road course, you think of Watkins Glen going into turn 1 on a restart. Everybody's got different braking points. Everybody's letting up in different spots. Everybody's more comfortable, getting into the corner their own way. So they're racing the track. But also at these places, you're having to race each other, and everybody is very, very different how they approach these corners. And unfortunately, if it's not an issue getting loose coming up off the corner, it's an issue of getting tapped in the rear end when you're trying to get under brakes.
Absolutely. And as Mike Carter said, props to Burgess for avoiding the worst of that. He's had a rough start so far, so we don't need any more of that. But pace car should be coming in shortly. Hunter Johnson will be leading us to the green flag once again. Thomas Harmon in second, Austin Collins in third, Craig Meyer in fourth, Dakota Wilkins in fifth, Colin O'Connor in 6th. Derek Hilker up 4 spots to 7th. These guys are getting ready to go green.
Yep, pace car is going to go ahead and lead him around to go through the rest. You're talking about where he just, oh yeah, Paul Shapenis in that number 77, sitting P8. Scott Bodenshots ninth. Dustin Musel 10th. Matt Burgess 11th. Got a lot of ground to make up. Frank Winsett and PJ O'Leary going to round out your field. 68 again on the inside. 32's looking high, wide, and handsome on that outside line with the 10 right behind. We're going to go green flag driving one more time.
Look at these guys, how close they get to each other as they go back to green, and immediately once they get on that gas, they spread out. It's kind of wild to see that, but these guys don't want to give up an inch, just all over each other. But take a look at this racing in the back. Absolutely crazy. Too wide back here. You see Burgess, he is going too wide, trying to gain another position. He is up to 10th. He's got Dustin Musel directly in front of him, so he's got some work to do, but he's got plenty of time to do it.
He's going to go ahead and throw it underneath that Bud Light number 2 right now. And before this, everybody was in one single file line across the or along the wall, going down the backstretch. I think we might have a pretty good chance if somebody doesn't get too aggressive on the throttle pedal of having a great long green flag run. And as far as being stacked up and really getting after it in the beginning, that's kind of really when you have to. If you wait until everybody gets too spread out, you may not make up the time that you need. It all depends on how much you save your stuff versus them saving theirs.
Yeah, I think we'll see Matt Burgess take it a little bit easier once he gets up to a comfortable position. Right now, he needs to get up there a little bit further before he kind of says, hey, I like where I am. Let's save those tires. Right now, we're getting too many cautions. He has to gain those positions. So we're seeing him do it so far. He's up to P8. Just 2 spots from where we saw a minute ago, but Hunter Johnson, he is still out here in the lead with quite the gap, almost a second and a half in front of Thomas Harmon. He's got the car tonight to beat.
Oh yeah, and he wasn't happy with the fastest lap that he had earlier. Before I mentioned, I think it was like a 19.4. Well, he just went ahead and dropped that to a 19.2. So not only is clean air and track position, all that, really agreeing with his Jordan Brand Toyota, man, he is absolutely loving this clean track that he's got ahead of him, and he's watching that gap grow and grow. 1.6 now over Harmon.
Yeah, our top 3 drivers look to have a similar distance between each other. And then you got Craig Meyer, one of our final 4 drivers in that number 10 machine. He is leading the second pack, and he's got quite the crew behind him. So this is a track, Pete, where you really have to be consistent, get into that rhythm. Once you get into that, you're going to do just fine. But if someone, bumps into you, or you see him get real close in that rearview mirror, that could mess you up. And if you mess up that rhythm, bad things can happen very, very quickly.
Absolutely. Matt Burgess, he's in that rhythm. Last time we were just talking about him, it was back in 8th where Dustin Musel is now. Burgess right now sitting 6th, right behind the 33 of Cullen O'Connor. Cullen, he's got the number 10 of Craig Meyer that you were just talking about right in front of him. So that 12, finding his rhythm, I have no doubt in my mind he'll be working his way through the field, and he will be up and battling for the lead before this is all over and done with 205 laps from now.
Absolutely. Let's go check on our leader once again. I want to see his gap, almost to a 2-second gap. Now, I know Hunter Johnson directly before this, believe it or not, he did an NIS race, 250 laps. So he's going to be doing a total of 500 laps tonight at Martinsville. This guy's going to be exhausted. We all know he races in real life, so this can't be as exhausting as in real life. But man, he is putting on a heater tonight at Martinsville and just showing how you need to run this track. Look at him just grab those curbs around it and just tuck it in, let it carry him around, and off he goes once again. Quite frankly, a beautiful line he's got.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've been paying attention to his front tires. He's not sliding his tires, so he's got those brakes like perfect. He's not wasting any time getting back on the throttle. He's allowing the car to drift up out towards the wall. And yeah, he is all about rolling into these corners. He's not sliding. That is helping him in huge ways. Now over 2 seconds, almost 2.5.
Caution.
Caution's out.
Craig Meyer involved in that one. Really unfortunate. Let's take a look at what happened here. He was in the group of 4. You got Matt Burgess in that group. 2 cars behind the 33. Looks like he did make some contact, gave him a little tap, and off he went, exiting the corner. Matt Burgess almost involved in that. It looks like most of these drivers, if not all of them, will miss Craig Meyer, but man, really unfortunate for him.
Yeah, I mean, Craig, just a little bit of a love tap to the outside wall, just as a few more were coming off, including several that had issues earlier. 10 was able to hold up for the most part, but that bush can not quite opened.
We'll see if these guys go on to pit road. It might still be just a little early. We're going to find out, but Hunter Johnson looking very solid out there. You see Thomas Harmon, who was in second. We'll see if he chooses to go in. I'm thinking Pete going to stay out a little bit longer.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, with the amount of cautions that we've had, the tires probably aren't all that bad. But nope, actually, it looks like they're going to come on down. Oh no, Harmon or not Harmon?
Hunter Johnson.
Like it looked like he was going to try to fake to the inside, but quite. I was thinking, if they got 5 sets of tires, 10 looks like he's going to come on down pit road, thinking that maybe 50 laps in, I'll grab another set. They got 5 tires. They do 50, 50, 50, 50. But no, they're going to stay out.
Yeah, I didn't see Hunter Johnson struggling too much, and it's going to be interesting to see how long he goes. At a certain point, if you get those amount of cautions, a lot of those will be pretty easy laps with the pace lap. So shouldn't be too much wear on these tires if you're taking care of them. We'll see how that plays out. And if we do get a long run, we're definitely going to see who took care of those tires when it was green and who didn't.
Well, I think it's going to come to what I was just mentioning about that number 32 Jordan Brand Toyota for Hunter Johnson. He wasn't sliding those tires into the corners, so that means that he wasn't abusing his right front where others were. They were locking him up just a little bit, which is another reason or another way that we could have issues getting into these turns. But yeah, he's taking care of that number 32 Toyota.
Absolutely. JCV says these are some familiar faces up front. Absolutely, we do have a lot of familiar faces up here, and so far they're doing great. We've had a couple of cautions, I do believe maybe our 5th one tonight. Pete says we'll get about 7, so I'm liking what he says. I'm hoping we keep with that. That would be awesome. But lap 55 of 250. It's brutal out here. It's Martinsville. What can you say? It is Martinsville. Short track, getting loose. You're going from 4th to 3rd gear. And you get on the gas too soon coming out of the corner. It's tough to make that up.
Absolutely. 32, that very, very familiar line on the outside. Avril Lavigne's got a good look at the front stretch. 12 of Burgess making his way back up through. Green flag's out. Eliza, here we go.
Here we go. Lap 56 of 250. Hunter Johnson with a great start. Take a look. Burgess back up front, sitting P3 side by side with the 00 of Austin Collins heading into the corner behind him. Dustin Musil and Paul in that 77, 2 wide also. These guys are 2 wide all throughout the track.
Yeah, that was a beautiful dance into and out of both of those corners. Up to a little high. I thought for a second maybe he was going to try to wash up and diamond it out a little bit like what I mentioned earlier. Not so much, and that absolutely just broke up those 2 rows of double wide cars. So now we got Hunter Johnson, Tom Harmon, Austin Collins, Matt Burgess, and Paul Shapenis in that 77 making up your top 5.
Yeah, Hunter Johnson already putting almost a second gap between him and Harmon. Meanwhile, we have Austin Collins in that 00 in 3rd. Matt Burgess, he's going to lose a spot to P4. Paul Chupenis. He's going to be in the top 5, having a great run so far here tonight in that 77 machine. Directly behind him, he's got Scott Bodenshots in the number 8. These guys, very, very close racing so far. I think that's going to spread out if we get some green flag laps in.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a decent little amount of space between most of these cars. Now they got a little bit of breathing room when they either got to let up or tap the brakes to set the car to get through the corner, and they can get right back to where they were. That run that we had just before this was the longest of the evening so far.
Caution,
I think they got a good feel. Scratch that.
Caution is putting up.
Caution is out. Let's take a look. I'm not quite sure. It's not telling me who was involved, so let's just see if we can find out. Ooh, who was that? Yeah, it looks like possibly Craig Meyer. No, it wasn't Craig Meyer.
Nope. I think this is actually going to be their stage, if I'm not mistaken.
If it's lap 60, yes, it will be the stage. That would be why we don't see anyone wrecked out. So yes, man, thank you for reminding me of that. Stage break for these guys. Lap 60 is where it's supposed to be. And they will go into that, in pit road for that. So, man, oh, man.
Yeah, I'm good for something. Right?
There you go. There you go. Most of these guys are going to go in. Some are going to stay out. Dakota Wilkins, he is one of those that chose to stay out. Colin O'Connor, he is going to stay out in that number 33 machine. Frank Winnisett in that number 20 Yahoo car, he decides to stay out. Craig Meyer, he's going to go around. But yeah, most of these guys, pit road, fresh tires, and off to racing once again. But watch out for the cold tires. You could spin them.
Absolutely. So Dakota Wilkins and Colin O'Connor, they're going to be our top 2 with this strategy here. It looks like it's going to be put Dakota up 7 spots in his number 44, and Colin O'Connor won the one and only Canadian racing here at Martinsville in that double 3, up 2 spots from where he started. So he's got a pretty good shot of right where he was, and with his qualifying effort, he should have a pretty fast car, so we'll have to see just what he's able to gain as the race goes on. And Eliza, this will also show us if those guys in the back with the fresher tires now are able to race their way up through the rest of the field, or how it's all going to play out for them.
Yeah, this is, you see a lot of times these guys on fresh tires, they will be a little bit more aggressive. They're going to be a little bit faster, more confident, but they will have to watch the cold tires. But yeah, I think we're going to see some aggression bump up here, but take a look at this. We're already seeing them up front, so I don't think there's going to be too much to worry about with that. Dakota Wilkins up front, Colin O'Connor. Right behind him is going to be Hunter Johnson, Thomas Harmon, Matt Burgess, Paul Chupenis, and Austin Collins going to be in 7th. Dustin Musil in 8th. Derek Hilker in 9th. And Craig Meyer going to round out your top 10.
Yeah, Dakota Wilkins came in on lap number 51. Colin O'Connor came in on lap 52. Everybody else now coming in here on lap 62. So just 10 lap fresher tires. Not quite sure how much of a difference they'll make with how many green flag laps that they've actually run. So are the 44 and 33 on that, that 50 lap strategy if we happen to see that many cautions? I hope not. I'm hoping for a long green flag run here. Everybody should have a feeling of what their cars are capable of. They're all also able to get a little bit of data off of their tires. Pace car is going to go ahead and pull in. 44 is going to see the flag stand first for the first time tonight. Ready to roll.
Dakota Wilkins gonna lead us off back to green. Lap 67 of 250. Here he goes on that start. He's gonna have to defend that position, or he may just take it easy and say, hey, I'm up here. I want to grab a couple of points, let you guys go on by. It looks like he is gonna lead hopefully the rest of this lap. We'll see. But Hunter Johnson, this is a man on a mission. Wilkins is gonna go up high, the 32 underneath, and Wilkins gonna lead that lap. Johnson, he's gonna go to the front. He is our new leader, lap 68 of 250.
Yeah, into 1 and 2 the last lap. I tell you that 44 smoked up the front tires. There was no way that he was going to be able to hold off the 32 that was able to roll all the way through. Just imagine how much time you're actually losing when the car is actually trying to come to a stop and then gain traction. Caution's out.
Austin Collins looks like he is involved. He is one of the final four Scott Bodden shots. PJ O'Leary, who is already 27 laps down. Tough, tough, tough.
Yeah.
Looks like he just loses it by himself, spins around. It looks like, some contact with the 10 and the 8 as they try to make their way around and get woe down for it. But, yeah, hopefully not too much damage for these drivers.
Yeah, where that 00 spun is really bad news for everybody else because you're coming off of a blind corner. You got that inside wall right, behind that grass. You can't see anything at all. So those guys did a pretty good job. Those that were able to navigate their way around the high side. But if you were down low, made a little bit of contact. It's short track racing. These cars aren't aero dependent here at Martinsville. It's just a big old paperclip that you just got to race around. And oh, by the way, they got quite a few more laps to do it in.
Yes, they do. Not even at the halfway point. We'll see what happens out here. JCV says Hunter at front at a short track is so unsurprising. Dude's blistering. He is. I feel like everywhere he goes, he's blistering fast. So we'll see how he does. But yeah, he has made his way to the front. And once he gets there, it is hard to get it back. But he's got Thomas Harmon behind him. I'm a little sad for PJ O'Leary. He's had a tough race, down 26 laps. But man, it's been a tough night for him.
I tell you what, if anything's blistering for that 32, not only it's his speed, or it's not his tires, but I tell you what, his hands probably absolutely blistering. Like you mentioned, 250 laps at an NIS race just before this, and then he's going to come on over as a glutton for even more punishment. 250 laps here in the AARP race. He might feel a little old when this is all said and done. You get it?
Yes, the AARP old. I get it. I know. I was telling you, I'm like, you ready for the AARP? And you're like, what do you mean? What are you trying to tell me? And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember. It's the league. But yeah, Hunter Johnson definitely testing his endurance tonight. By the time he's done, over 500 laps he will have completed at Martinsville. That is, for me, 500 laps too many.
I've always been the kind, if you got to use the brakes at a track, just leave me out of it. Yeah. You set me to a place where I'm wide open, or if I got to burp the throttle or something like that, I am good to go. I'm all about it. Although the Glen, I love the Glen. But yeah, most other tracks, if it involves the brakes, I just don't quite have that knack of driving with 2 feet.
Yeah, it's tough. It definitely is. And with how gentle you have to be on and off the throttle, like I said, you get on it just a quarter second too soon before you exit the turn, and your car is spun around. So that's something pretty tough that these guys are going to have to deal with for all 250 laps. We're getting ready to go green to lap 75 of 250. Hunter Johnson going to start on the outside. He's going to get in front of teammate Thomas Harmon, and off they go.
I tell you what, these teammates, I don't think they're communicating the way that they normally would maybe in another league race, because that 32 very easily getting the whole shot each and every time, already with a good 4/10 gap over Tom Harmon. Tom Harmon, he's got the 77 of Paul Shapenis right behind him for P number 3. So 77 continues to move up, now 7 spots to the better since this all started.
Yeah, Dustin Musil right behind him. He has moved up 8 positions also. Frank Winnis said, I'm seeing that he's involved in something. Man, it is brutal out here, you guys. Let's see him. He gets tapped by Matt Burgess. Part of that, a little impatience. He's wanting to move back up through the field, pushes Frank off his path there, and spins around, hits the wall, gonna give him even more damage. Yeah, hate to see it.
Ugh. Yeah, I mean, there was no room, but he absolutely just threw that, threw the front end in, and uh, very tough news for that 20.
Absolutely. Chris Palmer says same Frozen, and I'm gonna assume that's when I said, I'm glad I'm not out there. 500 laps is 500 too many. I'm glad I'm in the booth.
Yeah.
Karma, yes, he says low key happy this wasn't on the SMB schedule. Yeah, we talked about it and we're like, with how Martinsville can be, we'll save everyone. So these guys like a challenge, though. They're up for it, and here we are.
Yeah, Karma, as fast as you were in that number 20 Cloud9 machine, I don't know if I would have been able to be alone in the Shake and Bake booth for 250 laps. I don't have much hair left.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm glad I'm up in the booth. Wisdom says you're a wimp, Karma. Like I said, we had Hunter Johnson who drove 250 laps before this, if I can get that out properly, and another 250 here tonight. So yeah, testing his endurance. Let me know who you think is gonna win. I want to see a long run, Pete. Do you think we can get a long run? We're on our 8th caution. It's just single car incidents. That one had a little help. Burgess, a little impatient going through the field. You could see he had a much later let off point heading into the corner. But do you think we can get a long run here?
Well, I'm looking at the guys and when they last came in and those that are on fresher tires. Everybody that's on older tires is now 11th on back. Everybody else is on tires except for Cullen O'Connor. He last pit on lap 52. I think that issue right there with Burgess might have just been that Yahoo machine or that Yahoo Toyota was just a little bit on older tires, so he had to back the corner up more. And Burgess in that 12 just he had to go. Maybe he couldn't whoa up. I don't know, but I think the guys that are on the older or most of the guys that are on the older tires are a little bit further back. These guys that are up front, they're going to get a little bit racy. But once they get spread out, we'll see another long green flag run.
Hunter Johnson went in, and that moved him to P9. Thomas Harmon's going to lead us off this time around. Craig Meyer in that 10 machine, he's going to be directly behind, and it looks like Thomas Harmon's going to take that outside. And Wisdom is crazy out here saying, I want a season of 10 Martinsville and 10 road courses. Bite your tongue, man.
Hey, when you're good at it, you want more of it.
That is true. I am the opposite. Thomas Harmon going to lead us off as we come up to 82 of 250.
Green flag.
Meyer getting a little bit of a run there, but Harmon is going to lead him off, and Meyer falls back. Chupenis is going to fall up into second place. Meyer into third. Dustin Musil into fourth. O'Connor is going to get passed by Hunter Johnson, who is already back on a mission. And take a look at this group, Pete. Quite a few cars going too wide back to back.
Yeah, couple more rows, but it looks like 32 is going to easily clear the 33. 2 is going to go high. 32 of Hunter Johnson going to go ahead and throw it low. Now he's just got to try to figure out a way to get on by Craig Meyer. Is he going to pull low, try to outbreak him? Nope. 10 is going to come on down, slam that door. Bush Machine says, keeping the can shut for now. 32 is going to try and keep trying. He's just got to fill up the rearview mirror of that 10, maybe worry him a little bit, make him make a mistake, and then pounce.
Yeah, I don't know that Hunter's going to wait for a mistake. You can already see him trying to take a peek on that inside. Hunter's, I think, a little bit too aggressive, too much of a go-getter to do that. But yeah, he gets a little loose trying to get down there and has to save the car. But off he goes into the corner. That number 10 machine goes up high. Dustin Musil looks like he is going to try to take advantage. Gets a little loose coming off the exit. He's going to have to tuck him behind.
Yeah, the 2, if he was just a little bit closer, you would have seen the old-fashioned, you open a door and I'll follow you through it. Kind of like what you would have seen at Bristol of old, or Richmond, or even here at Martinsville when you got more cars on track, where if you get forced up to that second or third group and you've got a line of cars on the inside, you're falling way back and you can do nothing about it.
Pete, Hunter
Yeah.
Johnson already up to second place. This guy, I swear, under a second gap between him and Harmon, who is our leader currently. JCV says, yeah, if I were a betting man, I'd put a lot of money on that 32 winning. And out comes a caution once again. This time it looks like Dakota Wilkins involved. We'll see what happened. A couple other guys, Derek Hilker and Dakota Wilkins. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, very unfortunate for both.
Hard hit for Dakota Wilkins and Derek Hilker. Just nowhere to go. The 44 gets loose around the corner, and there you have it.
Block it. Oh, hard shot to the front end.
Yeah,
man, and those are the race-ending shots. Because right about that point, you're just getting back on the throttle because the rear end's starting to get a little bit of grip, and man, those shots will cost you some RPM.
Yeah, as Chris Palmer says, entering too early, or too fast, I should say. It's hard to get these cars woed down. It is a fine line in between entering too fast into the corner and using too much brake, so you're spinning the tires and it's going to get you loose. And we're seeing a lot of that tonight. I also saw in practice some of these drivers getting down to second gear mistakenly. And that's an automatic spin out right there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no recovering from that. It just loads up and around you go. But the top two, very, very familiar with themselves. And again, I don't believe that they're communicating whatsoever with where they're starting, because that 32 he's been able to rocket to a good half-second lead over the 68 and company. And man, I still am very, very impressed, as you were just talking about, the brakes and all that, about the amount of pressure that the 32 is putting on his brakes not to lock them up. Doing a phenomenal job.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the drivers behind Hunter Johnson as he warms his tires up. We got Craig Meyer in that number 10 machine up front the entire night, doing an amazing job out there. So big props to him. We have Dustin Musil in that number 2 machine, up 8 spots from where he started. Biggest mover so far, Matt Burgess. I feel like he should be the biggest mover, moving through the field several times and just somehow keeps coming into hazardous conditions.
Yeah, I think by the time the race is over, if there was an award for most cars passed, I think Matt Burgess would probably take that quite handily. Already back up to P5 after getting into the inside wall a couple times early. Working lap 91 looks like we'll go back green lap 93 with the 32 and 68 up front. Couple of very, very familiar numbers. 12 is going to restart P5.
JCV says, whoa, DQ for the number 32. Contact under caution to the 68. Yeah, we've already seen some contact. The 32 on the bumper of the 68, the 68 on the bumper of the 32. These guys, they like to have a little fun while they race hard. And here we go, green flag, lap 93 of 250. Thomas Harmon is going to lead him, and he counted down for his teammate. That 32 had an amazing restart, and side by side they go for the lead already. What an incredible drive for these guys. That is some close quarter contact racing, and man, oh man, it's the same behind them.
This is what I wanted to see. I know that Wisdom, he was just out there in chat a little bit ago, teasing Hunter, teasing Karma, and I think that they were listening to what we were saying, and they said, okay, let's do this. And they absolutely did. They both put the hammer down at the same time. It looks like it's going to be the 68 of Harmon that's going to be able to get the better. Oh, he's going to slide up track just a little bit. Open the door for that 32. He's going to take the inside line going down the backstretch. Can he take the lead?
Man, he can and he does, but I'll tell you what, Dustin Musil behind him, getting loose, almost lost it, but he held on to it. Luckily, Hunter Johnson goes to the lead over teammate Thomas Harmon. Some huge battles out here for position, but Dustin Musil, he's going to fall back to P6 after getting loose. Great recovery for him directly in front of Austin Collins. He loses again into the wall. That's going to be another caution.
Yeah, caution's going to fly one more. Whoa, almost went into the other wall by accident. He kind of tagged that curb there a little bit and got back on the throttle. The rear end wasn't quite set after a little bit of a bounce. Around he went, made just a slight kiss to the inside wall. Not too bad.
Not too bad. And as you said, he did make a little bit of contact with that curb, and you most certainly cannot do that. You will spin around, and that's what we saw there. He somehow, I do believe that's how he almost lost it before that, but he saved it somehow. Unfortunately, that time, not able to.
Good thing for him, though, he was able to get up and get going pretty quick. He was not lapped. So the the only thing that hurt there was a little kiss to the inside wall, and he's gonna be able to mount a charge one more time.
Absolutely. We're gonna take a look at JTR Custom Designs once again, sponsoring this race, offering you professional custom signs or any home decor options you desire. Perfect for gifts for holidays or special occasions. You can find them on Facebook at JTR Custom Designs, or you can email them at jtrcustomdesignsllc@gmail.com. Next week at Phoenix, Pete, what do you think we're going to see? What kind of racing? Are we going to see more aggressive driving? We're going to have those long runs. What do you see?
I see some great racing through the dogleg at Phoenix, and I honestly cannot wait. Phoenix it's a very, very fun track. A lot of people compare it to a short track, and man, I believe they call it the diamond in the desert, and it is absolutely that. What a great race it'll be to crown a champ.
Absolutely. Lap 100 of 250. We've had 10 cautions. That's about an average of every 10 laps. Let's see if we can increase that. We're going up to 250 tonight, guys. It's going to be a long one. Mr. Met, what's up? How are you? Any bold predictions for in real life Martinsville? The spring race was kind of wild, not a great race. I don't know. Martinsville just seems to be tough with these cars out here. So I think we're going to see a lot of cautions once again, to be honest.
I think it's very, very possible, but a lot of people are saying it's going to be Chase Elliott's race to lose.
Oh, well, I'm not going to argue with you about that. Well, I would love to see him win there, so I'm all for it. Let's go. I think we're going to see a lot of aggressive driving, elbows out. We've seen a couple of drivers get wrecked there, Chase Elliott being one of them. So we'll see what happens with that. But we've seen some aggressive driving out there also.
Absolutely. Speaking of that Hooters number 9, he just moved on up just a little bit to go ahead and take his spot back right in front of that number 20 Yahoo machine. So he's about 5 or 6 rows back on that bottom side.
These guys will be starting off very shortly. The 12 back up in the top 3. We'll see if he can't keep it there, but all over the back bumper of Hunter Johnson, who is on the outside, leads him off, and off he goes. What a huge start. You can tell. I don't think he counted that down, and I do believe Burgess is on their team also. The top 3 teammates.
Top 3 now, 1, 2, 3 in line. 1, 2, 3. 12 locking up the brakes, getting into the corner, just as we were talking about earlier. 10 still a little bit further behind, but that top 3 getting a little bit of a gap.
We have Dakota Wilkins involved in that one. I do believe that might have been just a solo incident right there.
Yep, no.
Just no touch from anyone. Just gets loose, possibly hits that curb, and off they go.
Racer X says, can't wait to see the new Goodyears at Martinsville. I hadn't heard anything about that.
Little secret out there in NASCAR world. I haven't heard anything about that. So Chris Palmer says, will he be? Hopefully. That'd be cool to see too. I'd be for that. Chase Elliott first though.
How about Hunter and Harmon, both coming on down pit road, grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, or maybe just to top it off, are they doing a little bit of math in their head with 104? Look at that number, Eliza. 145 is what they were saying they might be able to go Mac.
Yeah, very interesting. So will we see them, Hunter Johnson kind of lagging out there a little bit, but yeah, we'll see what they plan to go for the remainder of the race. Will they go in once again, or are they trying to go for the long run here? Burgess, meanwhile, he's going to stay out with Meyer behind him. So we have Scott Bodenshots. He is on pit lane. Derek Hilker on pit lane. Dakota Wilkins, Colin O'Connor, and Hunter Johnson on pit road. Matt Burgess stays out. He is going to lead us off back to green. We are headed to 107 here of 250. Still quite a long race to go here.
I mean, now that Matt has led a lap, he's going to go ahead and grab that point. The 68's led a lap, the 32's led a lap, but like you said, he's not in the championship hunt. So that's going to be good for Matt Burgess to lead a lap, because he's right now he'd be even with the 68 Avril Camaro for Harmon, because the 32, I want to say so far, has led the most laps. So they're even, they're square, just like they were when they came into this race.
Yeah, he definitely needs the points. He is there right behind in points behind Thomas Harmon. But after the last 2 races, I know he really, really wants this win, and he's definitely showing that out here tonight, moving through the field several times. So he's just got to complete it, got to stay consistent, stay focused, and get into that rhythm.
Well, yeah, we'll have to see exactly what this 12 is capable of. Now that he's in the front, he's going to have all that clean air. He's got the 10 of Craig Meyer to his outside. But again, he'll have that hole shot. He'll be the first one to hit that throttle as a control car. He's got everything in his favor from this spot.
Absolutely. Send out of the car once again and says Grandpa Matt. Send is going to be Hunter Johnson, who went in to pit lane. He's going to come out P9. I don't know how do you drive and type in chat at the same time?
It might be like my new Kia, where you just hit that wheel button in the middle of the wheel, or in the wheel controls, and it actually drives itself. Maybe.
Could be. That'd be nice, especially at Martinsville. Just drive for me the whole time. I'll get the credit.
There you go. All right, so 12 up on the high side, 10's the inside. He's going to go ahead and mash that throttle. Green flag.
Yeah, Frank Winniset gets down to that 10 very, very close, kind of squeezes him out there. We have Matt Burgess, who's going to get a nice lead off, just under a second. So we're going to see a big battle for second from Meyer, and Frank Winniset is going to go on that outside. Got a nice run. Hopefully get some of that momentum coming off the exit. We're going to see Meyer still in that P2 spot, but we'll see if he can hold on to it.
Yeah, look at that 20. He's really pinching the 10 low. 20 almost made a little bit of contact with that outside wall. He's going to fall back just a little as his momentum is paused. 00 now. Now here's the 68. Here is that freight train on the inside that I talked about. Move that 20 back to, about P6 from P2.
Yeah, Thomas Harmon getting up to that P4 spot. Hunter Johnson saves it. He got a little loose coming off that exit. He's going to go side by side with Frank Winniset in that 20 Yahoo machine. He's going to take it high. The 77 brings it up high. We saw the 20 rub against that wall, so we're going to have to see him and how he does. But Hunter Johnson, he's on the move and moving up through the field. Thomas Harmon in front of him. Austin Collins in third. Craig Meyer holding out that second spot up here the entire night, Pete. He's got the car, man. Doing a great job. Matt Burgess still leading the group here.
Yeah, Matt Burgess actually answering, or completely answering, the questioner, wondering what he was going to be able to do in the clean air. Well, there you go. You don't see any wheel smoke out of him, nothing at all. He's absolutely getting down much. He looks a whole lot like the 32 getting into and off the corner. Caution one more time.
Caution out. Looks like Dustin Musil. We've seen this happen to him a couple of times. Man, just loose conditions out here. That comes with the territory at Martinsville. Gets on that curb and off he goes. You got to stay off the curb, guys. It is brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Yeah, the curbs, not quite like the turtles that you might see at like the Daytona Road Course race or Indy Road Course or any of these other places, but because you're going so slow, it absolutely upsets the balance of these cars, and it'll get you every single time.
12th caution of the night. How did we get to 12? That is crazy. 116 laps completed. Still quite a few more to go. Burgess gonna lead us. Meyer in second. Collins in third. Thomas Harmon. Collins looks like he's gonna go on pit road. Thomas Harmon stays out. Hunter Johnson gonna move up a spot to P4. Frank Winnisett in P6. Dakota Wilkins. Derek Hilker in 7th. Colin O'Connor in 8th. Austin Collin goes on to pit road. Paul Chupenis on pit lane. And Dustin Musil comes out of pit road.
Yeah, 1, 2, skip a few. 11, 12 is how we get to these cautions. But working lap 117 of 250, getting closer and closer to that halfway point. You know, we've been on now just about an hour and 15 minutes, give or take. We've seen, as you said, 12 cautions. We've seen several different leaders. But Eliza, usually the second half of the race is where everybody starts to crank it up just a little bit. Will we see more green flag racing? And if we should happen to see a caution with about 10 to go, is it every man for himself, elbows up, slobber knocking racing, or what are we going to see?
Did you just say slobber knocking?
Slobber knocking racing.
Oh. That's a new one.
Right. Lights out, punch out racing.
I have not heard of that one, but let's go for it. You know, I don't know that a lot of these drivers can afford to go all out just yet. There's still a lot of racing. These guys are getting really, really loose. Got to stay off the curbs. If it's me, I'm staying still and take care of my car mode. Try not to wreck, keep it clean. And then I'm thinking the final 50 or so laps, 50 to 75. All right, it's getting on. Let's go. Let's go do it.
Well, we're about to find out what the 12 is capable of. We saw him kind of pull away from a few of the guys that were, that were behind him. Now you see the number 10, Craig Meyer, in the championship hunt. Tom Harmon in the championship hunt. Hunter Johnson, he's arguably been the fastest on track all night long. What is the 12 going to be able to do to hold these guys behind him? Looks like he's going to take a page out of the 32's book and restart high and allow him to get a good launch and a good entry into turns 1 and 2. Lights atop the pace car are out. Next time by, we'll be going back green.
Absolutely. Racer Rick, your puppy is not slobber knocker. That is too funny. Mr. Met, I think we're going to see a lot of that in these final laps. I can assure you of that. The 12 is going to be under attack by the 32 of Hunter Johnson. He's going to have to really defend that. I'll tell you what, he's had an incredible run trying to get up through the field several times now tonight. And as Pete said, we'll see how he goes. But the 10 gets in a Hunter Johnson. Doesn't really upset him, but the 10 has to back it down as he gets around the corner. Thomas Harmon behind him goes and dives it down deep. He's going to make the pass, take over P3.
Taking over P3, taking over P1.
Oh, huge pile up in the back. Derek Hilker. Yeah. Yep. Derek Hilker involved. We have PJ O'Leary crashed once again. Let's take a look. The 44 just gets loose, comes down, and just kind of goes from there.
Yeah, I really do feel bad for PJ O'Leary. Not only several laps down. I know what kind of racer PJ is. In another league, he showed a lot of progress over a 16 to 20 week season. Forget exactly how long it was, but man, that the 24 that he ran in that series, absolutely phenomenal. If there was a worst to first kind of a deal where he made up the most amount of progress, I guess you could say, during the season, I'd probably say it'd be a good toss up between him and another driver that ran a sun drop scheme. But yeah, I know PJ O'Leary is definitely very, very capable of getting a race done.
Absolutely. I'm looking at his car. I don't see a lot of damage out there. He definitely has some front left damage, but he looks relatively clean. Hopefully it will not affect his car too terribly much. He is down 23 laps, so he gains yet another lap out there. So with the cautions that we're seeing, we may see him on the lead lap before this race is over.
Very, very
I'm
possible.
hoping not, but I mean, I do and I don't. You know what I mean?
I get you. I get you. You like the guy. He's rocking a pretty nice looking scheme as well.
You gotta love it.
And yep, I see you rocking that scheme just about all the time on Heat 5 whenever you're running one of those streams. But hey, who knows? He's what, 23 laps down. We're lap number 13. I don't think he's going to get there. He might get halfway. Who knows?
We'll find out. Lap 126 of 250, and Racer Rex says he sure is named after Granddad. That is just that
Slobber Knocker.
I would assume that's a nickname or something that he said. But yeah,
in life or something?
that is too funny. I've never ever heard of Slobber Knocker.
Yeah.
I can see a baby being called a slobber knocker. You know, all the slobber and everything. I don't know. It works.
What are those big dogs that drool in that? What are the Saint Bernard?
Like Beethoven,
like
yeah, Saint Bernard, man.
There you go.
They are definite slobber knockers.
See, now you got it. Now you got it down.
I mean, it fits. Yeah, Saint Bernard is a slobber knocker. There you go.
Slobber knocker is like a knockdown, drag out fight, and that is exactly what we've got here at Martinsville tonight. So you got the terminology perfect.
There you go. Hunter Johnson is going to lead us off. We have Burgess in second, Harmon in third. That's going to be your top three. Meyer, just so consistent tonight, Pete. He is always in this top five. So I want to see. I would love to see him get a win tonight. I don't know. I would love to see it.
I'm sorry.
No, go for it. I'm excited.
No, he absolutely is. I mean, he's sitting here in the fourth spot in his number 10, up one spot from where he qualified. So doing pretty well, showing that qualifying effort was no fluke. He can get around this half-mile paperclip in Virginia. So no doubt about that. But Hunter Johnson, Matt Burgess, and Tom Harmon, these guys absolutely battling out the 10 right there amongst the best that we've seen all night long. He just needs a couple more spots. Green flag.
Green flag, and we got somebody hanging back way back there. It's going to be Dustin Musel as he tries to catch up after being on pit lane. Hunter Johnson in lead, Matt Burgess in second, Thomas Harmon in third, Craig Meyer. Man, when you get mid-pack, these guys are just all over each other. It's pretty wild. Frank Winnisett leading that two-wide battle behind him, Colin O'Connor and Austin Collins. These guys getting wild.
Yeah, Paul Chapenis in that number 77, up 4 spots from where he started. Right behind that number 20 Yahoo machine for Winnisett, Colin O'Connor, Austin Collins, Dakota Wilkins, and Dustin Musel. That's going to be your top 10. Oh, by the way, Hunter Johnson, new fastest lap, 19:24. I heard that was a good year.
That's bananas. 19:24. I don't know how they do it. He is something else. These guys doing a great job out here. I know we've seen the cautions, guys, but I'll tell you what, it is tough. It is not an easy track, and every time I'm on board with a guy driving around the corner, I'm just thinking, stay off the curb. Just stay off the curb. It's so tough, and your car, with trying to get it woed down, it wants to turn left on you, so it can be pretty tough out there.
Yeah, 32 doing an amazing job at navigating these turns. He is literally just like 6 to 8 inches off of the red and white curbs that go through both ends of this half-mile track. I mentioned it before. He's not laying on the brakes so much to where he's sliding the tires. So keeping the heat and keeping the air pressure, doing all that, not upsetting the balance, and he continues to pull away already 1.4 over Matt Burgess.
Yeah, take a look at his shifting pattern. We go up to fourth just barely, then back down to third to make the corner. Get right on that throttle, bring it up to fourth, and already back down to third again. Frank Winniset, after an incredible run, he is out here involved in this.
Yeah, that 20 is going to go for another ride. He had Shapenis right behind him going through the corner. What happens?
Just gets loose. Off he goes. Man, incredible job by these drivers to miss him. And no damage for him, luckily. Just get those tires lit up and heated, unfortunately. But besides that, he should be good to go.
Everybody goes around to the left and to the right like the seas parted. So good job by everybody behind. And again, it's one of those blind areas, especially if you have somebody in front of you, much like a Daytona or a Talladega race, when you're just pushing the guy and you've got all faith in the guy right in front of you. You can't see through these cars. You can't see through the back window or through the front window. You've got to trust that if trust your reflexes, that if you've got to turn to the left or turn to the right, you can do it in a timely manner and not jerk on the wheel to where you end up having an issue either going to the outside wall because you just lost all grip, or going to the inside because you turned in too fast. So it's a dance.
Absolutely. A lot of takers for pit road. Craig Meyer being one of them. Frank Winniset. Hunter Johnson, he's going to take to pit road. So, yeah, some of these drivers coming on in. But I'll tell you what, Paul Shapenis and Frank Winniset, Matt Burgess, these guys, they have been on to pit road more times than I can count. I'm curious, out of how many of those, when did they take tires?
Yeah, it's a good question. Paul Shapenis, last time he was on pit road and took tires. Nope, because he's already been on and off. I cannot see.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, when Tom Harmon went on down pit road on lap 105, we said, we were talking about them being able to go 145 laps on a tank of fuel. So far, he has not come on back down with any of the cautions that came after. Hunter Johnson, though, he is on pit road.
He is on pit road, and he was on pit road for a while. Looked like he changed 4 tires, but I'm kind of curious. Did he have a penalty? Because that was a long time out there. And he says in chat, I need a drink.
He's probably
Long
dehydrated
race.
after his NIS race.
I would say.
And then here, yeah. So he's actually running the full length of a cup race here at Martinsville, like a real life cup race. 500. Man, what a champ.
I would say, Hunter Johnson, you're crazy, but he already knows that, so. More power to you. Have Austin Collins out here. Thomas Harmon, these guys are lining up side by side. Looks like Thomas Harmon is going to take that outside. Austin Collins on the inside, so we'll see how they start off. But Austin Collins back up here. He is one of the final 4 drivers. Craig Meyer, he's going to be the final of that, and he is P6 at the moment.
So now, Eliza, we've seen how fast that 32 is. How many laps do you take, without cautions, we'll say, before that 32 works his way back up and gets to be a threat again?
Oh, man.
Be ready, green
I say
flag.
3.
All right,
He's a
green
man
flag's
on a
out.
mission.
Let's go.
Green flag is out and already too wide for P2, and Austin Collins gonna tuck in right behind Thomas Harmon, and Matt Burgess gonna be in third. Meanwhile, as usual, we have another 2-wide battle, and that's going to be Dakota Wilkins and that 33 of Colin O'Connor. These two battling it out once again. He's got Craig Meyer behind him. These guys going at it.
Yep, 44 to the outside, 33 to the inside, 33 a little loose under throttle. Now he's got the 32 applying just a little bit of pressure. 10 completely throws it in to the outside of the 33. Diamond's out that corner, able to stay to the outside. So now Cullen O'Connor and Craig Meyer still battling side by side. 32 of Hunter Johnson, wondering what door is going to open up. He just found out.
Still green, it looks like. The 33 hard into the wall. That's going to be Colin O'Connor, which gave way for 32 of Hunter Johnson, who is a man on a mission once again, getting loose coming out of the corner. Saves it and off he goes. He's going to be underneath the 10 of Craig Meyer. He's already moving up through the field. He's going to be working on Dakota Wilkins soon.
Yeah, Hunter Johnson already up to P5. Dakota Wilkins right in front. Dakota throwing it high in that Jegs number 44. 32 going to be able to throw it in. 10's going to go ahead and follow suit. Here comes the 77 of Paul Shapenis. 44's got to hope that the bleeding stops.
Hunter Johnson through P4. Matt Burgess up ahead, and the top three are together, and that gap is going to be just a little bit. Hunter Johnson going to lead that second pack with Craig Meyer just behind. We have a couple of green flag laps here, 146 of 250. Hopefully we can keep a good thing going, and you'll love to see it. Let's keep these guys clean and keep them moving, Pete.
That's right, clean and green. We've seen our last rack and stack back up for another green flag launch. Quite a decent little gap between the cars. If somebody doesn't get a little throttle hungry coming off of one of these corners, we should be, or I would think, all right. Look at the run from this 00 to the inside of the 68. He's going to challenge for the lead, almost getting up into that driver's side door.
There he goes, still too wide. He's going to have a little bit of a nose out, but Thomas Harmon, he's sticking that nose out on that high side. Incredible run as he is on that high side, which is kind of harder to run there. Austin Collins still in the lead. He's looking to lead a couple of laps here, doing an amazing job. That is, however, going to allow Burgess to catch up, and he is in the mix. Take a look behind. He's got Hunter Johnson. He is now hanging along onto this train.
Wow, big crossover move by the 68 on the 00. Not quite sure if he tagged that left rear just a little bit or not. 00 locks him up, a little bit of tire smoke. That's going to allow the 12 to get on underneath. Here comes the 32 of Hunter Johnson trying to make his move. You were close, a little bit more than 3 laps, but this 32 a threat once more.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be P3 working on Burgess. We have Austin Collins, P4, Thomas Harmon in the lead, and you know he is under attack. He is not comfortable at all. He's got 2 mates right behind him, which you're thinking, okay, they're going to take care of me. They won't do anything crazy, but it's Martinsville. Elbows out. These guys are on top of each other. Anything can happen. We've seen it all night. These guys are definitely being tested tonight.
Yeah, working lap 151 of 250, 99 laps left on the wall for these guys. Tom Harmon's going to see if he can lead the rest. That number 12 and the 32, if they've got something to say about it, they're going to say, But this would be one hell of a team top 3, and I imagine would be a great team celebration.
This is crazy. Side by side for P2, Hunter and Matt. These guys getting a little crazy out here. Hunter takes over P2. Matt Burgess falls to 3rd. Austin Collins in 4th. Man, oh man, they are still keeping that gap up. Let's take a look. We're going to have Craig Meyer leading the second pack. And man, a little bit of a wallop. Looks like almost to the wall. He's going to have Paul Shapenis directly behind, but they're on their own little island. We're going to have P7. That's going to be Frank Winnisett leading that 2-man group with, he looks like he had Dustin Musel, who's been so loose the entire night. Almost lose it coming out of that corner.
Yeah, Musel's unfortunately had some issues, going around a couple times, but right now sitting in P number 9, Colin O'Connor, P number 10. He's actually on pit road in that 33, several laps down. So it looks like right now 9 cars left run. Actually, I take that back. 10 cars left running with Derek Hilker back there in the 5.
Yeah, we're watching these guys on the backstretch as they make their way through. Hunter Johnson putting a little bit of a gap, just over half a second over Thomas Harmon. Burgess directly behind him, and these two are on top of each other. Collins still keeping up. I've been impressed with his run tonight, Pete. He's done an amazing job. Craig Meyer kind of struggling out here. He's in P6, doing solid, almost a top 5. But if he wants this chance for a championship, it is quickly closing.
Oh yeah, Austin Collins, he was really, really good last week and the week before that. This Tractor Supply Toyota that he's riding, it's fast every week, just needs a little bit of a break. I think if he sees some clean air, he's going to do just fine, just like we've seen the 12 and the 32 and every other number, 68 that's been up front.
Bodenshots is out. Lockroy's been out for a long time. PJ O'Leary out 23 laps down. Hilker 14 laps down. O'Connor 14 laps down. And Musil down 4 laps. The top 8 are on the lead lap. And man, I'm not saying anything about this green flag run other than I love it. Let's see more.
That's right, 90 laps to go, and we'll have to see. Again, Tom Harmon, last time he came on down pit road was lap 105. I don't mean to, be repetitive here, but it'll be interesting to see if he comes down pit road anymore. Or will this long green flag run change his mind? Will staying out actually hurt him? We'll have to see. But right now, Hunter Johnson continues to extend. Now just about a full second over Tom Harmon. 1.3 back to Burgess. That's your top 3.
That is your top 3. Fourth is going to be Austin Collins still. Paul Chupinis in the top 5. We have Craig Meyer in 6. Frank Winniset in 7th here. Dakota Wilkins going to be the final one on the lead lap. That's P8. Dustin Musil in 9th. Kind of a tough race. He's gotten loose quite a bit coming out of the exits. Seems to have calmed down since. Colin O'Connor in 10th. Derek Hilker in 11th. PJ O'Leary in 12th.
I'll tell you what, that 44, he's actually no longer on the lead lap. So Dakota Wilkins just put 1 lap down as the 32 came screaming on by. That Jegs machine went up high, allowing the leaders to continue the fight amongst themselves, leaving 7 cars now on the lead lap, and that is that 20 Yahoo machine.
Absolutely. Racer Rex says, "Oh, that is a jinx right there." I know. Just let's not talk about it. Let's not think about it. We're green. We're doing great. Mr. Met says, "Go Avril." Whenever I've seen Harmon, he has always had that Avril car. It just cracks me up. And yeah, she's been through a lot with Thomas Harmon. Hopefully, he's hoping she'll get him another win tonight.
Yeah, she stood by his side for quite a while. And it's funny, you look at the back end of that 68 Camaro, and even though I know it's not, just the way her hand is positioned on that back bumper, it's like he's giving a finger to somebody that's right behind him. Yeah, instead it's a pow, it's a punch. Like, hey, don't hit here or else. But man, that Avril Camaro is fast, and on the front of it, you just had a little bit of a shot of the wording. It says, "If you can read this, I've saved my tires. Move over." Just like you see on the lettering of an ambulance when it's behind you. You read it as it is because it's spelled backwards. That's the same way it is on the front end of that Camaro. Pretty cool.
Well, Pete, it is pretty cool, but is not keeping Burgess away from him. He did stick a nose underneath him, unable to keep it there, so he falls back a little bit. I don't think that's going to be the last time we see him try to make a move as he gets there. Thomas Harmon looks like he is struggling a little bit, getting high off those exits, trying to do what he can. When I spoke to him earlier, he says, "What I learned is I'm really fast at the beginning of a run, but I'm struggling towards the end of it. So I need to save more." And you can see him trying to do that here. Hopefully it'll keep Matt Burgess at bay. If not, it's going to be under attack very shortly.
I'm kind of surprised because honestly, that 68, he is on much, much older tires than Hunter Johnson and Matt Burgess. Hunter Johnson came in on lap 138, 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, topped it off, did everything that he had to do. Same thing with Matt Burgess. He came down on lap 136. topped it off, did everything that he had to do. So they both got 30-plus lap fresher tires than Tom Harmon. He's fallen behind Hunter Johnson. No surprise there. Big surprise, he's holding off the 12.
Absolutely. If you look at this pit stop strategy and the stint length, I'll tell you what, it is looking like Tetris out here. So many different stops for these guys. Pretty incredible. But yeah, Harmon on some older tires than the rest of these guys. Now, we can't tell who changed tires, but I can tell you the last run, Hunter Johnson, I saw that car being changed on both sides. So I know he did get 4 good years for that last stop. And it is showing he's looking confident out there. And it's going to be hard for these guys behind him to catch up.
Yeah, most of the guys when they came on down pit road last time, Tom Harmon on lap 105, his pit time was a 15:25. Matt Burgess was a 14:72. Paul Chapenis back there in P5 and his number 77. His pit time is a 5.5, so that's fuel only for him.
Right.
Everybody else was 4 tires and fuel last time they were down.
Absolutely. You see a couple of guys fixing those, putting some repairs on the car, but Hunter Johnson just looking so strong out there. Pretty incredible. He's coming up on some traffic as we speak. Let's take a look. That's going to be PJ O'Leary and that number 9 Hooters machine. Will he move over for Hunter Johnson, or will he race him a little bit?
I think he absolutely gives the line to Hunter. PJ's several laps down. He knows how to race, knows how to get out of the way when he has to. But he's a competitor too. If he was 1 lap down and he had to worry about getting the lap back, if cautions were to breed cautions a little bit later on, I'm not knocking on any wood because that's not what I want. But yeah, I think he gives the 32 the line. There you go.
There he goes.
Pulled super low and away he goes.
Away he goes. You can see those tires, the brakes being lit up as he is making his way through the corner. Thomas Harmon still in tow with a Matt Burgess directly behind him. Let's see how far back they are. Almost 3 seconds, Pete. That's kind of crazy. Matt Burgess, he's going to take a look on the inside as we head into the first corner here. See if he can keep that and make up a spot over Harmon. Move up to P2. These guys are still side by side. It is going to be close. These two are going to use up a little bit of those tires. Matt Burgess, he's got newer ones, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. 30-plus lap newer ones. So he's still the inside, but I tell you what, I got to give it to Tom Harmon really staying with him on that outside. He's getting a great launch off the corner. Caution's out.
Caution's out. Colin O'Connor involved in that one. Let's take a look. Such a long green flag run. It was beautiful while it lasted. Getting loose coming off the exit, hard into the wall. Almost a little surprised that brought out well, he stopped. There you go.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Every time. If yep. And yeah, bang. I mean that again, pretty hard shot into that inside wall, and then as you said, came to a stop, went ahead and towed it, which I'm kind of surprised by, because it looked like he was still able to run and did look like it was a hard enough shot to make the motor blow. But everybody, including that 68, he said, you know what, I've had enough down pit road.
Absolutely. Let's bring out the JTR Custom Designs. They offer you any home decor options you desire, perfect for gifts, holidays, or special occasions. And with Christmas coming up, guys, there you have it. Find them on Facebook at JTR Custom Designs, or you can email them at jtrcustomdesignsllc@gmail.com. And I want to thank Jess myself, too. She was doing some hard work on the Discord, and I don't know if she helped Derek out there and the other guys to have them work on the Discord and let us be able to move the drivers around when we need. But a huge shout out goes to her for helping the team out there with Discord and getting it all situated for them.
I might actually hit up JTR Custom Designs after this race. I've been thinking about a lit up sign for the outside of my room, kind of over the doorway, NASCAR race in progress, or maybe the old-fashioned live sign for any time I get to either hang out with you or Rick James or Swats or any of you, or just when I'm broadcasting a race by myself. Something to add just a little bit to this nice little collection I got going on here. But I might have to hit
Absolutely.
them up, see about a light up box.
Let me know how it goes, because I was thinking about doing the same for my little setup here. So unfortunately, I don't have a camera to show it off. But hey, I will be happily looking at it. So
You DM me your address and I'll send you a camera. I've got a second one sitting here.
I don't know. I just never. I don't know. Everyone's like, why
I
don't you
get
have a
it.
camera? You know, what are you gonna do?
You don't need one. You don't need one.
Chris Palmer says broken toe link, probably. That's what I was thinking. The way he hit that, kind of on the corner there, I'm thinking broken toe link, which is an automatic 8 minutes of repair. So that can be definitely tough. Racer Rex says that was a good run for the pack. I loved it while it lasted. Absolutely.
Yeah, a great run by the pack. Lights atop the pace car are out as they went across the start stripe last time. That Hooters machine is going to go ahead and grab a lap back. Hunter Johnson now with fresh tires, just like everybody else. Everybody that came in on lap 182 for Brandy Weagle Feel Goods. Eliza, we are going back racing with just about, 64 laps remaining. Getting closer and closer to the end. 32's about to hammer that throttle pedal. Let's go.
Hunter Johnson off and running. Thomas Harmon, you can see him right there also. Gonna dive down to second. We have a little bit of a battle between Burgess and the 00 once again, but they seem to thin out single file line. That's a long train, Pete.
Absolutely long train going into the corners. Everybody again got to get their bearings, get into the corners, get back to their rhythm, just like we saw just a moment ago. But with the cars kind of thinning out, the 12 kind of tagging that outside wall a few times. I'm going to guess he got a little loose, maybe downshifting like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, luckily he saved it, but he lost some momentum and a little bit of a gap. But Dakota Wilkins involved. Let's see what happened here. Cautions breed cautions, guy. It was good. A run while it lasted. Just gets loose coming off that exit. Fortunately, is able to keep it off that wall. No one else involved. Man,
Yeah,
it's
yep.
tough.
Luckily enough, it was a little bit further in the back. No real issues, but that 44 around, and yeah, see what the 5 did right behind him, doing everything he could to go ahead and and slow it up. Good thing is he wasn't up to full song.
Absolutely. Once that happens, trying to go into the corner, I mean, you could very well lose it into the wall just from trying to woe it down too quickly. These cars don't like to do that, especially at a short track such as this. So luckily, everyone handled it and no damage for either.
Yeah, what would have been really interesting to see if we did have a long green flag run from the beginning to about the middle of the race, how pit stops would have happened. You just mentioned getting on the throttle and losing control. Well, during the race, a lot of these guys will mess with their brake bias, and if you don't put it back to where it needs to be before you start your pit road entrance, a lot of guys tend to loop it around because they have no control over it whatsoever. So it would have been interesting to see who was able to show that car control under green flag pit stops, but I don't think we're going to see that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're heading 192 of 250. We see Dakota Wilkins on pit lane. Hunter Johnson is going to lead us once again to the green. Oh, man. I want to see this go green. I know last time I was like, hey, I want to see a late caution. Let's bunch these guys up. Let's get it going. I want to see some raciness. I want to see this under green. I want to see how they do. We know Hunter Johnson has the speed. If you're out in chat, let me know. Do you think Hunter Johnson's going to take it home, or will it be somebody else?
Well, I know that 68, he wants to go 3 for 3. He wants to go for the three-peat. 32, he's definitely shown to have the speed. when the 12 of Matt Burgess was able to get up front. He's shown to have the speed and was able to get a good distance on the field as well. Austin Collins in that 00, down one spot from where he qualified, sitting P number 4. Can he get up there? Is it go time for him? Who's going to get up here and be a new player in this mix as we're getting closer and closer to the closing laps?
And I think Matt Burgess, he's going to be battling it out with Thomas Harmon. That's going to allow Hunter Johnson. He's saying, hey, battle it out. I'm going to get away. I'm going to put a gap on you guys. So he's going to enjoy that. Remember, he's got nothing to lose. He's not in the Final Four. Johnson isn't. So he can race. He can afford to make some riskier moves. However, Harmon, Burgess, especially Burgess, they can't. So will we see them battle it out too hard and let Hunter Johnson walk away? Or will we see them go single file, try to catch up to Hunter and put some moves on him?
Well, we'll have to see if Avril Lavigne issued any team orders because it's, as we get closer and closer, 56 laps remaining, 32 strong, 12 strong, 68 strong, 00 in the 10. They've been there all night as well. Green flag's back out. 32 gets a decent little launch. 68 and 12 side by side. 00 is going to file in. 12 lights them up. Coming through the corner, off the turn 2, down the backstretch, strong into 3, still side by side.
Yeah, they are not wasting any time getting racy for the top 3 drivers. Hunter Johnson already walking away as Thomas Harmon and Matt Burgess battling it out for P2. We have Austin Collins directly behind in P4, and he's going to have Craig Meyer, also one of the Final Four drivers. All of these guys in the top 5, Pete.
Yeah, I tell you, I am watching this side-by-side battle lap after lap after lap. 68 holding up outside. Every now and then the 12 still a little hard on the brakes. Sliding up. Tom Harmon kind of just tagged that outside wall. 00, man, these guys they're racing hard now, Eliza. Ooh. They know that there's 53 to go.
Yeah, Austin Collins kind of putting a little bit of bumper into the 68, getting a little aggressive, elbows out. And this is what I said, when we have about 50 laps to go, you're going to see the aggression ramp up. And this is what I'm talking about. We see Matt Burgess break through, and he is loving it. He doesn't have to worry about behind him. As long as those two are battling side by side, he can try to go catch Hunter Johnson, which is up a good amount. There's quite a bit of gap between him, but Thomas Harmon, he's losing yet another spot, Pete.
Yeah, the 00 able to clear him on the inside. 68 couldn't keep him pinched down enough. That outside line is fast if you have the entrance and the exit the way that you need it, but when you're fighting with a car down low, there's just nowhere to go because those turn 2 and turn 4 walls come up way too fast. When you got to check up and put a little bit more wheel into it, you're only hurting your tires.
We just broke the 200 mark right here, 201 of 250. So we're coming up in less than 50 laps to go. So a lot of racing still to be had. You see Austin Collins making some work over Matt Burgess. So we're going to see these two battle it out in a second, I think. Once they do that, it's just who can get to Hunter Johnson first.
Yeah, I mean, Austin Collins, he is absolutely making time up on this number 12 lap after lap, doing a great job. I was kind of wondering if we were going to see this tractor supply machine come into play. Well, he answered that question and then some. Able to get on by the 68, now all over the back end of the 12, just filling that mirror, hoping he can make Burgess make a mistake. Here he is.
There he is, and these guys just getting crazy. We have Mr. Met saying, I don't think anyone catches the 32, and I'm kind of with you. Look to see that gap. Absolutely incredible. Almost a 2-second gap. Burgess back there, and then you see Austin Collins, who is just putting the pressure on him, waiting to see if he's going to mess up, but he almost hit the wall himself. He's going to have to really watch that. You can see he's kind of putting the pressure to his back bumper, hoping he gets loose. You don't want to wreck him, but you want to try to move him.
Yeah, he just gave that 12 just a little bit of a nudge to the back end, and when he did, he actually lost the front end, hit the curb, and that's how now there's a good, 2 car lengths between the 00 and the 12. But look at him gain this time back off of each and every corner. He's really good throwing the car into the corner, getting it to rotate. He's not locking up the tires like he was earlier, so he's able to stay right with that 12 and keeping the gap back to the 68.
Yeah, you can see him doing a little bit of a wheel work coming out of the corner as he is trying to keep that thing straight as can be, as he tries to get on the gas as soon as he can. These guys are just doing a phenomenal job. I cannot tell you how much that Martinsville is just a challenging track. When you see these cautions here tonight, this is something that you're going to see everywhere. It's just a challenging track. Wait till you see it at in real life, Martinsville. Dustin Musil struggling tonight. We see him involved, and that's going to be a single car incident. Hopefully, no one else is involved.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody else was around that Bud Light number 2, so it looks like it's going to be all that Ford Mustang GT.
Hard into the wall for him. No one else involved so far, but not good luck for him tonight.
Hard shot into that inside wall, just like we saw earlier. Again, those kind of shots, they are race-ending shots.
Hunter Johnson, pit road. Matt Burgess going to take the lead out here. Thomas Harmon stays out, so Hunter Johnson on a whole different pit strategy than the rest of the guys. He's on pit road along with Austin Collins, Dakota Wilkins.
You think Hunter Johnson maybe decided, you know what, guys, I'm not in this championship hunt. You guys go ahead and do what you got to do. If I can get back up to you in the next, 40 laps, then so be it. But I'm going to let y'all race it out.
Oh, I know he'll be back up there. Absolutely. There's still enough laps. We'll see him. It may take 5 to 10 laps, but he will be back up there. Send says fastest lap. Pete is the keeper of the fastest lap, so we'll let him feed that one to you. I'm sure he'll. Yeah, go ahead.
Yep, Tom Harmon in that 68 actually with a 31:31. Actually, no, I'm sorry, I take that back. Fastest lap was 19:20 by Hunter Johnson.
Well, there you have it, and that was Hunter Johnson asking, so he is the fastest out here. Rhyme says 24 hours of Martinsville. I bet you they're going to feel like it after this race. I bet you guys feel like it after this race. It is crazy. The endurance that these guys need for this, the patience, it does. It takes a lot out of you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hitting your marks each and every lap, the focus that you've got to have is it's got to be on point. Because if you mess up, you can hit the curbs. Or you get into the corner too hot and you got to lay on the brakes, smoking them up. Then your tires get mad at you, and all of a sudden you can't control your car. So yeah, there's a lot of things that can go wrong getting into and coming off the corner. Talking about getting on the throttle too early, little loose. I mean, so many issues, Eliza.
Absolutely. Sen saying not bad, a 19.204. Sen, are you bragging out there? He is fast, that is for sure. He's going to come out of pit road. P6. We're going to see him up there in no time.
Yeah. And P6, 3 rows back on the high side where he's been strong all season, all race long. So he'll be right where he wants to be. Plus, with a couple of cars between him, he'll have a good shot to see exactly when the leader goes. So he'll have a good vantage point to see how the race goes back green.
Absolutely. You can see these guys. Oh, I know. I'm trying for a 1919. He's crazy. Getting ready to go back to green. Lap 214 approaching of 250. Matt Burgess to the lead, and he gets a fantastic start. Thomas Harmon going to tuck in directly behind. We're going to have Craig Meyer and Paul Chupenis. They're going to go side by side. They're going to tuck it in. And Hunter Johnson, you can see him already making moves. There he goes, Pete.
Yeah, Hunter Johnson's going to go ahead and try to get to the inside of that 77 for Paul Chupenis. Right in front of him is going to be that number 10. And yeah, able to just leave the 17. Again, see some tire smoke through the corner. 32 trying to get to the inside of the 10. Didn't quite have the speed right there. 77 having to check up just a little bit. 32 all over the back end of the 10, making him get a little squirrely off the corner to the inside. Here we go.
Here we go. Hunter up to P3. Craig Meyer fourth. Thomas Harmon. He's up there. A little bit of a gap between him and third of Johnson as he was trying to make his way around. But Matt Burgess in the lead, trying to keep him behind. Take a look at that right front, though. He's got some damage. And Austin Collins involved. Let's take a look at what happened.
Yep, Austin Collins, a little bit of an issue here. So I have to see what happens with this tractor supply 00. He was just up front, really battling hard. Very unfortunate for him.
Just gets loose coming off mid-corner there, but Frank Winnisett narrowly misses him as he makes his way around.
Wow, very, very narrowly.
Yeah. We have a couple of drivers on pit lane. Craig Meyer, Paul Chupenis, Dakota Wilkins going to head to their pit stalls here.
All right, so Matt Burgess, when we go back green, he'll have the field back in tow. It's a spot that he's got to absolutely appreciate. 68-32, all up his backside. So couple three teammates, kind of messing around with the pace car just a little bit, kind of like old Dale Earnhardt used to do. Leave a little bit of black paint on the back end of that pace car. And it's actually funny, true story. While we're under caution, I actually saw the pace car that will be in Michigan. I believe next year. I was heading up 85, and it had the breast cancer awareness logos all over it. It actually looked really cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I always love it when I see the pace cars out there being driven after they're done from the track. Really cool. It's got a little bit of history out there. But
Right.
yeah, we saw Austin Collins crash. He was already shifted down, so that wasn't the issue. Just trying to get woed down a little too quickly. The tire spun and off he goes. It's tough. But yeah, there has been some driver shifting down, which they shifted down a little too soon and spun him around. I don't think that was one of those though.
All right, Eliza. So 30 laps to go. There's what do we have left? We've got 8 cars on the lead lap. Musil is on pit road. Hilker down 13 laps, so he's not going to be in contention, hopefully. But who do you have? The top 3, very, very strong.
Man, Hunter Johnson, super fast. I know Burgess really wants and needs a win. Thomas Harmon, all 3 of the top guys are doing a great job out there, but Hunter Johnson, I think I'm going to have to go with him. Once he gets out there, it's just so hard to catch him. He's got the speed tonight.
And the rage out there in chat says, this is going to be good. So keep an eye on that 32 Jordan brand machine. He's calling his shot, much like Babe Ruth did. Pace cars in, 68 inside, 12 the outside, 32 and the 10. Here's your top 4. Can we finish these last 29 laps or 28 laps green? We're about to find out. Green flag's coming out. Let's go.
Let's bring her home, green guys. Lap 222 of 250. We have Matt Burgess. Man, he gets a nice little jump over him for Thomas Harmon. And a little wiggle coming off the corner here. And Thomas Harmon going to go to the inside. Man, oh man, Pete, that was a little scary. You know Thomas Harmon. He is under pressure. He's got Hunter Johnson. These guys going to make it 3 wide almost, it looked like. I'm a little scared, but I have a feeling we're going to go 3 wide in a second.
Yeah, I think Michael Jordan on the hood of that thing might have just had that pucker factor happen, because that could have been really, really bad. But yeah, 68 able to work to the inside. I think he might have given just a little bit of a nudge to the left rear of the 12. If that's the case, that was the bump and run done properly, but much to it didn't really do much for the 68, because that 32 very, very strong. on 4 brand new tires. He's going to put them too wide right behind him.
Yeah, too wide right behind him in 68. He dives it down, but man, caution comes out, and that is going to be Craig Meyer.
Yeah, it's number 10, Busch Toyota Camry. He's going to have an issue one more time. He's got the 77 right behind him.
Man, yeah, I mean, he was well out of the corner there, almost to the finish line, and just spun it, unfortunately. He is one of the final 4 drivers with 25 laps to go. That is not when you'll want to see a spin out there for you.
No, that was really odd how that happened. That kind of reminded me of Dover back on like NASCAR Heat, where you had that imaginary wall stick out and knock you to the inside wall. That's an odd place to spin.
I'm going to go on board with it. Yeah, he was already losing it, coming directly out of the corner. Almost had it saved. And just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Nice try, though. Unfortunately, just welcome to Martinsville.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
He had some massive amounts of wheel work on that, trying to save that.
Absolutely. He got halfway down. He slid to the start stripe, so he was off the corner for a while before it completely came around on him. Good job.
Absolutely. Send says, I told you it's going to be good. Send, aren't you supposed to be driving?
Don't text and race.
I know, right? You're wild. Chris Palmer, how you doing out there tonight? Who do you think is going to win? I love how I just called him out.
There you go.
Like, why do I gotta answer?
What are friends for?
Nose to tail, these guys are on top of each other. You can tell they are teammates. Matt Burgess high-fiving Avril Lavigne. Thomas Harmon high-fiving that Send and Rage machine. And yeah, I think we are going to see some wild laps. 23 to go. I want to see it go green, man. I do. I really do. I want to see them battle it out and see who can persevere.
Well, Michael Jordan's number was 23. They're going to go back green next lap. So we'll see if that Jordan brand 32 is able to control the race from his vantage point. Right now he has it. All he's got to do is hold on to it. But with the competition that's right behind him, that might be just a little bit harder, done than said. Pace lights are still on, so they're going to take one more lap around.
One more lap around, and Chris Palmer still holding true to his original Go Harmon Go. Rhyme says Chris Palmer has a grudge with Burgess. Uh-oh. Little rivalry happened here. So we'll see what happens next week. Hopefully we'll see you out there at Phoenix. It's going to be a fun race. I think we will. As Pete said earlier, we're going to see some guys getting racy through the dog leg.
Cannot wait. All newly configured track, just a few years old. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, calling turn 1 where turn 4 used to be and getting all kinds of discombobulated. There's a new word for you. Man, 32's up high, Eliza. Does the 68 stick with him, or has the team communication gone out the window?
If it's me, the team communication has gone out the window. It's you're for yourself right now. Hunter gets an incredible start once again, but man, so does Thomas Harmon all over his back bumper. The gap is going to be with Burgess, though. You can see he's under attack by Austin Collins, Paul Chupenis, and all the other drivers, so he is going to be leading that group. It looks like he's not looking too confident as he was earlier, Pete.
Wow, that 00 just completely sent it and almost sent the 12, but able to lock it down just enough to where he didn't push the 12 up the track. Great driving by the 00 of Austin Collins and not interfering with the what could be championship implications for the number 12 if he had sent them and wrecked them. The 12 had some issues early in the beginning, but was able to overcome. Now top 3 with a decent gap between all. Just the 00 close to the 12 as far as the top 4 goes.
All right, 18 to go, under 20. Hunter Johnson with over half a second over Harmon, and the caution is out, you guys. I am sad. Crocodile tears. Let's see what happened here. The 44 involved, gets loose, tries to keep it off the wall, gets loose. Oh my. Some net code possibly right there. Did not look like he made contact with Derek Hilker, but then again, let's take a look back as we try to rewind that.
Ooh, yeah, a little bit of net code. It looks like Uncle Netcode did make the trip to Virginia after all.
Yeah, definite net code there. Really unfortunate for Derek Hilker, who was also involved with that. Palmer said, Rhyme says Palmer has been testing at Phoenix and will be the one to beat. He doesn't care about Championship 4. He's going all in. See, that's what I'm saying about Hunter for this race. He's got nothing to lose. He's going all for it. It's either checkers or wreckers, baby. And that's what he's doing out here. Chris Palmer says, been practicing my late braking. Oh boy, oh boy.
I'll tell you what, Hunter Johnson, he's got 250 laps of practice that he just ran with the NIS race. So he came in here ready to roll. The only thing that might have been just a little different were the track conditions, but he had a bigger field over there. And from what I understand, plenty of restart practice, shall we say. So 32, I think he's going to be good to go. We'll go back green with, I believe, 13 to go. Looks like the pace lights atop the car are still on. So yeah, 32 just leading this procession around this half-mile paperclip here in Martinsville, Virginia.
Wilkins and Hilker still on pit lane, so we'll see them come out after they repair their damage. But I do want to thank you guys for staying tuned in. This is a long race, no doubt. Imagine how the drivers feel. Very, very long race, and I know they appreciate you guys hanging out here. We appreciate you guys hanging out here. 20th caution, as Mr. Met says, just a little over what Pete had thought.
Well, I mean, I could have said 27 and had something to shoot for.
Well, there you go. We would have been under. Would have been good.
Yeah, see that? It would have actually sounded like I knew what I was talking about.
Well, you never know with Martinsville. You know, is some of those tracks, you think you're going to have just all of the cautions in the world, and then, like, we've gone green the entire time. And then the other tracks, you're like, oh, it's going to go green, no worries, and then it's like a caution fest. So you never know what you're going to get.
That's right.
Alpha, thank you for the biddies. 32 biddies. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Alpha York 023.
I'm thinking he's saying that's for Hunter Johnson.
Could very, very well be. Well, it looks like the 00, that tractor supply machine, he's going to be back up front. 68 down low, 12. So we're kind of back to right where we were, about 50, 60 laps ago in kind of the same order. That 12 after he had made his way back up to the front. As you see, the lights atop the pace car are now out. So we're going to go back green. It's going to be an 11-lap shootout, Eliza.
Let's go. Hopefully hopefully the final one. Let's bring it home. 12 to go here at Martinsville Speedway. We're going to have Hunter Johnson leading us off on that outside. Teammate Thomas Harmon on the inside. And off we go. And you know, I don't think he sounded anyone when he's going, but man, oh man, they are on that start. Austin Collins on the outside, already all over Thomas Harmon. Matt Burgess gonna dive it in, try to take over that P3 position. He's not gonna be able to do it just yet, Pete.
Oh yeah, I think he actually scared that 00 to go on up high. And he's going to be able to get to it. Almost a little bit of door action there. But that 00 kind of keeping the 12 pinched down. He's not allowing him to get into the throttle. 12 completely locks him up. Getting in, even a little bit more, beating and banging. This is Martinsville racing.
Absolutely. Elbows are out, and I don't know how Matt Burgess did not take out that 00. Great job on the driving for both of these guys. But Paul Chapenis, he's saying, hey, Yeah, I'm coming up here and I want a position too, so we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what he does, but they managed to go single file. Matt Burgess wins that battle. We'll see if he's won the war, but Hunter Johnson, he is off and running almost a second ahead of Harmon.
Yeah, just what, 3, 4, 5 laps, and here he is. Can that Avril Lavigne machine catch up? We'll have to find out. But like you said, half second between them already. Anytime we've seen this 32 up front, he has only extended that gap. Does he cut his teammate a break and say, "Hey, here, you go ahead and get it"? I don't think so. This 32 wants the trophy.
Absolutely. He's going for it all, man. He's got nothing to lose. So if he wrecks, he knows at least I tried everything. He's going for that lap time, too. You heard him. But Matt Burgess leading the second group, 4 cars in total. And you see Dustin Musil back there in 7th. These guys are close, but 6 to go. This race is coming down to the wire. Now 5, Pete.
I tell you what, he just tied or got very, very close to his fastest lap. Last lap with all that clean air, running his own line, 19.24. His best lap is a 19.2 flat. So he's getting closer and closer. I don't think he's going to hit that 19.19 though. 19.30 for that time by. Caution's out.
Dustin Musil. Oh, man. Can you believe it?
I think we're going to see a green-white checker, Eliza.
Nope. We're going to get this. We're going to see these guys get it. Just loose around the corner. Man, it is so tough out there. 3 to go. I think you're right, Pete. But man, I wanted to see it go green to the finish. But what can you do? 21st caution of the night.
I said 7. Just multiplied a couple times.
Yep, just... You were close. You were close.
I was.
7 times 3. All good. All right. I think Hunter Johnson, he's going to have Thomas Harmon. You know he's going to take the outside. He's going to have Thomas Harmon below. Matt Burgess on the inside behind. Austin Collins on the outside. It's going to be a repeat of what we just saw. So Hunter Johnson, I think he's going to be able to get a run. It's going to be hard to catch him, Pete.
Yeah, 5's going to go ahead and grab a lap back. You just got to ask him 32 to kindly move on over. But yeah, it's going to be, like you said, they're going to stack back up just the way they went green before, but this time it will be limited. Eliza, I didn't ask, and I don't know if you mentioned it earlier, how many green-white checker attempts do these guys actually have?
I would assume 3, but I honestly do not know.
Alrighty.
Send, I'm thinking you're going top. You've done top, so I think you're going to stick with what works. That's what I'd be doing. Now, whether you're counting down your teammates, that's a whole different thing. He says he's going to let the booth pick. This guy out here driving, chatting, letting us pick. Would you look at that?
How about that?
Rhyme, did you say infinity? Sen says it's infinity.
Oh boy. As many green-white checkers as we need. Wow. How many wrecked race cars do y'all want to see, chat?
This is it, guys. This is it. Bring it home. 3 to go. We'll see Hunter Johnson apparently going to start on the outside. Thomas Harmon on the inside. Musil with a tough night, man. I think he's been involved with probably about 70% of these. It's been tough.
It's a tough track, and I'm sure after 247 laps, he's got to be tired. Hitting the same mark, driving the same line, looking at the same cars, having the same throttle issues, having issues shifting. I mean, it's a long, grueling race.
It is, absolutely. And Hunter Johnson, he's going to be now over 500 laps here tonight. I do believe his race started at maybe 5 p.m., so that is a long time of racing.
At 2.5 hours for the NIS race, starting this up at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and here we are now quarter after 11 Eastern. Yeah, he's been behind that wheel in his rig for quite a while.
Well, it's going to come down to an end. Hopefully, here we'll see who wins it all. Hunter Johnson going for that win here in the final 4 races. Not in it for the championship, but in it to win it. Man, look at
32.
Austin Collins with that bounce. Great job.
32 caught him sleeping. Double O was able to get on the throttle as well. But look at the 68 machine absolutely rocking in. Almost makes contact. Double O way up high. Here comes the 12 down low as well. We are back to the top 3 that have arguably been the fastest all night.
Austin Collins hard into the wall. No caution. Final lap. Hunter Johnson, if he can hold on to it, will bring it home. But I don't know how Thomas Harmon held on to that. But here we go. Hunter Johnson will be the winner here tonight at Martinsville. And he almost lost that trying to show off. Oh, my gosh. Hunter, you're wild. Great job to Hunter on the win. Thomas Harmon in second. Matt Burgess in third.
Yeah, it's gonna be a amazing podium interviews coming up shortly with those 3. Again, Hunter Johnson, a late entry into this race after running the NIS race. Tom Harmon won the previous 2 races back to back, comes home P2, and Matt Burgess, who's had a string of bad luck as of late, brings that number 12 Hy-Vee machine home P number 3.
Absolutely. What a wild race, a long night, but you can see Hunter Johnson not tired enough to not celebrate. So he is out there burning it down, doing the donuts. What a run. The speed, the consistency, and he kept it really, really clean out there. So huge congratulations to him. Hunter, take us through your race. We saw you in a race earlier today. Did that help you prepare for this one tonight?
Oh yes, for sure. I had no idea what I was doing when I joined that other race, so I kind of joined in for 250 laps of not knowing what I'm doing, and then halfway through I kind of figured it out, but sadly got caught up in a late race incident which took me out of it. But I decided last second, might as well come in here and have some fun with some friends. And I didn't think I had a shot of winning like I did, but it was a pretty good race nonetheless. Had a good battle between teammates the whole race, so it really made it fun for me and them.
Absolutely. You guys were trading paint, trading positions, and I see you celebrating with your teammates out there who are also in the booth. But man, huge congratulations to you. Nothing to lose. And you pulled it all out there tonight. You got it done. Congratulations, Hunter.
Thank you very much. It was I enjoyed it more than I probably should have.
Nice. Glad you made it out. All right, Pete. Hand it over to Thomas Harmon here.
All right, Tom Harmon, we saw you go on down pit road at lap 105. Were you hopeful from there on out it would all be green flag racing and everybody else would have to come on down pit road at least once? Or what was your strategy there? But man, overall, congrats on this P2, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, the strategy was kind of, I didn't want to have to pit again in the event that it did go green, or even if it went caution fest. We all know which way it went, but thankfully it played out to my favor, being able to hold off Matt and Collins there for the P2.
Great show overall. 21 cautions on the night, but you know what? The racing never got dull. Phenomenal job for you and your teammates, sir. Big points night for you.
Yes, it was. Got to that plus 15, which is what I was aiming for.
There you go. Eliza, Mr. Burgess.
Absolutely. Matt Burgess bringing home P3. We saw you have to go through the field a few times. Take us through the start of your race and how you overcame that to get a podium out here.
Just lots of cautions. I had 4.5 minutes of damage after that spin and hit the wall with the nose. Then it was just getting repaired. I was just hoping there'd be a lot of cautions. Eventually got it all repaired and then got up the front so I could fight with Thomas and Hunter.
Well, you definitely did do that. You had a great car, led some laps out there. What are you thinking for Phoenix?
Since the points is pretty much decided at this point with Thomas, I mean he's a step above me and on ovals and stuff, but on road courses it's kind of the opposite. So I wish there was more road courses, but there isn't. So I know the last couple races I just had to take a chance and try and get ahead of him, and it didn't work out. But Phoenix, since it looks like he'll probably be pretty close to having it locked up, depending on how the bonus points go. It's just go all out and try for a win.
Absolutely. Well, I can't wait to see what you guys do at Phoenix. And it looks like, did you just blow your engine?
Yeah, I was sitting here, then it couldn't cool off, so it eventually flew.
Oh my gosh. Well, at least it's now and not earlier. But yeah, huge drive for you tonight. You got P3, brought it home. Congratulations to you. And I can't wait to see what you do at Phoenix.
All right, thank you.
All right, Pete, that is it tonight at Martinsville. What a grueling night for these drivers. Definitely testing the endurance, but man, teammates pulled it out of the bag and got a top 3 podium for these guys and a win.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Big congratulations to the 32 of Hunter Johnson one more time. I would have loved to have seen what would have happened with him a couple short weeks ago, but overall able to grab the checkers here at Martinsville. Like you said, next week on to Phoenix championship race. Matt Burgess feels that Tom Harmon has it in the bag. Will that actually come to be? We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Yeah, we're going to crown a champion. So I'll see you guys next week, same time, same day, Wednesday night, 8:55 p.m. Eastern time. You guys take it easy.